welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A happy Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout, live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Thanks to those listening on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Thanks to those watching on YouTube, and thanks to those listening to us on podcast form in the future. Matt Iwanyk, Shawn Belle, Tom Gazzola with you here. Boys, how are you guys doing today?
This is his thing. I like how he acknowledges the podcast listeners.
Yeah,
It's
that's
smart.
actually, that is quite nice.
We always give love to the live listeners, but the people listening in the future, they deserve the love too.
They do.
And actually,
the love.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm starting something new here.
I love
EST.
it.
It's good.
The only time I don't do it is the pregame show for the Elks because we don't podcast that one.
Well, that's fair, but
We don't do it for Oilers pregame either, right?
No, because there's no point of
Yeah,
a
it's a
pregame
pregame
podcast.
show. Yeah.
And what's great is with YouTube, you could just go and find it if you really want to.
Yeah.
But like no one's sitting there after a game and going like, I want to really hear what the boys said before a game.
What are you looking at?
what do you have on your face?
A goatee.
What?
What do you mean, what?
Oh my god. Are you okay?
No, I'm fine.
Do you need to talk?
No, but it looks good.
This is the first time since I've known you that you've actually tried to grow facial hair, and now I fully understand as to why you don't.
I'm just going to leave it for the week.
Really?
Yeah. 2 more days after today.
Is everything okay at home?
Yes. It's... I saw it yesterday and I was like, yes,
And you thought it was okay to walk out like that?
Yeah, leave it for the
You
week.
can't even really see it.
Yeah, thank you. See? I have blonde face.
I honestly, until you said it, I didn't notice it.
Dusty said something earlier.
And then all of a sudden you look at it and you're like, oh my god,
You
you look like Zorro.
Zorro was a handsome devil.
Zorro.
Remember
Zorro's
Zorro?
facial hair
I'm
was
just trying to remember. Oh, yes.
very
yes.
interesting.
The Z with the...
Yeah, but he had like it was dark.
But
So
it
you
was
noticed
dark.
it.
But this is,
This is
completely
Northern
different thing.
Italian.
Just,
Did you get a trim at the top?
I did.
It's a fresh cut.
Fresh cut.
Very
It looks
good.
pretty solid.
Thank you. Thank you. I can't take my eyes off that, buddy. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I can't look at you today.
You right away just stared me down. Oh my goodness. Well, it's good to see you.
God, good to see you too, buddy.
My
It's been a
goodness.
long time.
I know. It's been a
Yeah.
couple of weeks, but
I know.
I have a goatee now, temporarily.
Jeez.
Wait, didn't we do the hangout together last week?
Yeah, it's been a full week.
Yeah. That's a long
That's a
time
long time for
him
this.
and I. Yeah.
Okay. Were we on the show together last week?
Yep.
Yes, we
Okay.
were. Yes, we were.
Yep. We were, but yes. Hey, how's Lynn's doing? Baby number 2 on the way.
Yeah, I'm in the window now. We're in the, we got 15 days until the official due date.
Go to
But now it could be any time
Could be any time.
before or any time after.
100%.
So it's like a 30-day window.
Yeah, it's a 30-day window. But realistically, this kid's coming in the next 15 days.
All right.
I'm hoping.
All right.
I am too.
I really am too, because honestly,
If it comes on the weekend, it's time for the Estes.
That's right.
That's like a week and a half,
That's
Belsy.
exactly right.
That's
Yeah.
like a full week
Plenty
and a
of
half.
time.
I think you could be like, it's already been a week and a half. I
Like, I should probably go to the Estes. I get it.
It's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
Joel says I have a midlife
go well. I'm
crisis.
sure going home will be easy. Oh, Lindsay, now that you had the kid.
Yeah,
do
you're
you know
okay.
what
You're
sex?
good, right? It's a male.
Now that you had our son, been a week and a half. I think it's fair I go to the Estes and Hudson's afterwards for the after party.
Yeah.
100%.
It's a
Liz,
work
if you're
thing.
listening, gotta work.
Yes. You're a man of the people.
Yeah, daddy's got to go to work.
You're family man first, but a man of the people close second.
So that's a no if the
Yeah,
sun
it's
comes
probably-
early.
Yeah, probably. Most likely not.
Most likely. See, it's a small little window.
Well, there's always
Small
a
little
chance.
window.
There's always a chance.
And there's a chance.
Yeah, you're getting ripped a little bit. VR going zoomed in and everything. RNH-esque for your goatee.
I have more facial hair than him.
I'm not sure, man.
I do. It's just blonde.
I must need a high-def camera to see it. Our camera's 1080p. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing to say.
I'm not
out
sure.
I'm
loud.
keeping it for the... I don't care what you guys say. I'm keeping it for the week.
You should keep it for you should grow it to the Estes.
Oh, no, I'll look like a rat. Don't even say it.
I'm not even going to say it.
Don't even say it.
Well, see what it looks like with the Estes. Maybe it'll go well with a tuxedo.
I have my doubts. I
Maddie,
have my doubts,
Maddie,
Maddie.
What?
You can't even lie to him right now.
Why not?
He's trying to pump me up. You
don't want to see that?
Devil and angel, like it's the yin and yang, man. Like,
You gotta.
Yeah.
I want to encourage. I don't want to.
Do you want him to, like, you want him to continue to grow this?
It's not my thing. Face.
Exactly. That's why it is.
I wouldn't grow. Like,
A
I
good
don't grow
friend
much.
would let him know that it doesn't look good.
I'm keeping it all week.
Why? Do you need to talk?
No, I don't.
Let's go for lunch after.
I have to do oil stream.
I will wait for you.
Really?
Yes, because you need to clearly talk. Something's going on.
Nothing's going. I just I looked at it yesterday. And I'm like, yeah, what the hell?
It could be just laziness.
And
Like, I don't want to
did
clean.
trim everything. Right?
Okay, well then I was trying to help you there, but
Definitely.
I appreciate that. I'll sewer myself. It's fine.
It looks good, Tommy. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, I know. Tommy is trying to impress his stray cat, says one texter. And then Jocelyn says, it looks great, Tommy. Thank you, Jocelyn.
Jocelyn's a sweetheart, but she's lying.
Well, it's the thought that counts.
Yes, it's like a Christmas card. Yeah,
Nice.
sure. Throw a compliment.
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
Yeah.
Looks great, Tommy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's my boy.
on the side, I'm done with cards for gifts. I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't blame you.
I don't get the
Yeah.
point of why I have to write a card out.
How long
and
do you
put it on
keep
the
them
gift.
after?
I still have quite a few. I think I throw them like with Christmas. I throw them in a box, and I should get rid of them. I feel bad throwing them out.
But do you put them on display for like months on end or like
weeks.
Couple weeks?
Couple weeks.
Yeah, I put the like Christmas ones. They'll stay out till end of Christmas. So when I tear everything down.
Yep.
Birthdays, like a week, if that.
Yeah.
Do you put up a tree in your place?
Very small one.
I have one. It's in my storage unit. And actually I had somebody over the weekend and they were like, you need to put up a Christmas tree. And it wasn't my mom. My mom's the one who gave it to me. And I'm like, I don't see a point to that.
Yeah, I did some small ones. No one ever comes into my place during Christmas, so it's like it doesn't matter. Like it's just for me, kind of. And
Now,
it's
how long do you
whatever.
keep it up?
Okay, so this last year I kept it up for a while because I had
What's a while?
wide labrum surgery, so it was like 2 months.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to take it down, and because I have to go take it to my storage cage, and I was just I couldn't do it.
But you didn't light it up.
No, I didn't just light it up every night, but it's like I had Christmas stuff out for a while. Usually, well, Christmas technically, like with my family, it ends on Jan 7.
Ukrainian Christmas.
Ukrainian Christmas,
Yeah.
or like the 12 days of Christmas ends
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
So around then, like early January.
That's what I want to do.
How long's yours stay up for?
It stayed up one year for a long time.
What's a long time?
Like a long time. Like an uncomfortably long time.
Like we talking into March,
we're talking
April?
into like March, April.
Whoa.
And then I finally had to look at my wife and say, hey, we're taking this thing down. She's like, I like it. It's nice decor. Like, it's gots to go.
I respect the people that like January 1st, after all the celebrations are done, you're probably nursing a hangover. Although you and I agree on this, New Year's Eve a little bit overrated.
It's the most overrated.
Yeah.
day
100%.
there is.
100%.
There's-
But they
it's
take it
not.
down.
I think the last few years I've been in bed by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I haven't.
I don't
really-
blame you. Because like New Year's Eve, everything is outrageously expensive.
Yes.
It's hard to get anywhere.
Yep.
Like those Uber surge charges are outrageous.
Unbelievably
Yeah.
insane, yeah.
So cabs hard to find. So what are you really going to do? Go to, like, no disrespect to any of the bars and establishments here, but like it's not the same as if you would be like maybe New York or like there's not those kind
Actually, New York's awful by all accounts.
but there's those
Like being at Times
those
Square.
massive
Yeah.
parties,
Awful.
isn't there?
Oh, those. If you're in Times Square, like people wear like Depends and stuff.
Yeah.
because you
Seriously?
you lose your spot. You don't get to hold your spot.
my God.
So they wear stuff that, and it sounds like a miserable
Right.
time.
Then I fully take that back. Sounds miserable.
Yeah.
Right?
I could never do that.
Nope.
So yeah, no, like New Year's Eve, when there was house parties and stuff where I'd go to house parties, that was a lot. I lived like those ones, but you're right. The bars, just everything's worse, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I would watch my college football the last few years, and when college football is done, I go to bed. I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
And also the Oilers have this history of playing on New Year's Eve. Last year I think they had it off. Or no, they played early.
They played like January 1st one year. I don't know if it was last year or what, but
and then
Yeah.
but this year they're back on the 31st. And it's a late one again.
it's an 8 o'clock.
It's an 8 o'clocker.
I don't know if it's 8 or if it's 7, but it's like it's not, because one year I think maybe it was last year they played at like 2 or something.
Yes,
Play at that time.
that was fine.
Even though I'm sure the players like
You should just go out on January 1st.
There was a game.
You'll have your pick of the litter.
there was
7 o'clock. Utah's in town.
Oh, great. Can't wait
Play
for
that game
one.
in Utah.
But
Have that game played in Utah.
go play it in
Yes,
Utah.
they're not going to celebrate as hard.
And then we'd be on location at Hudson's, and we got it all figured out. But they had one, and I think it was like an 8 o'clock start or a 7:30 on New Year's Eve a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago. And I remember we didn't do a post-game show. We did a pre, and then I zipped over to the rink, and I was watching the game from the rink and worked the room after. And I remember sitting around in the media lounge, and all the writers were finishing up their post-game stories, and I finally was like, are we doing anything? I didn't really plan to do anything. And I think DVD, myself, Spec, we went to one of the bars around the arena.
Oh, yes, Kelly's.
It might have been Kelly's.
What a shock.
We had some champagne, yeah. But yeah, it was kind of like, oh, this sucks. But we made the most of it.
Yeah, it's nice if you're around some people. Like, it's just, it's not that special of a day.
Yeah.
The calendar flips.
Yeah.
We all have to go buy a new calendar.
Yeah.
Like, that's the holiday kind of thing. I could also go a little bit more dark with that, but I won't. I'll save that for another day.
Oh, you're brooding.
Ooh, man.
Matthew's brooding.
I don't need to bring people's
20
moods
minutes in.
down.
Spicy.
It's not that. It's just, it is pretty, like, when you think about it, it goes, crap. But I won't go there. Let's get to Hangout Headlines, which is brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club, offering premier conditions, top-notch service, unmatched value. Book your tee time today by visiting theranchgolf.com. You've got like a month and a half left of golf season. And there's nothing like fall golf. Actually, I don't even know why I'm talking fall golf, because it's supposed to be beautiful all week still. 21 today, 25 tomorrow, 31 on Friday, 29 on Saturday, 29 on Sunday, 30 on Monday, 27 on Tuesday. So you get like summer golf still here in early September. So go golf at the Ranch. Your thoughts, Belzy, on Leon Draisaitl?
Oh, you did? What's that? What happened?
He signed. Well, there's reports. He's signing 8 years, $12 million with the Edmonton Oilers.
That's unbelievable.
He's sticking around.
He's staying. I love it.
I actually haven't seen the actual contract signed.
From what I've heard, it's just rumors and speculation.
They could have this press conference, but I haven't seen him actually have a pen and a paper and sign something. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There he is.
This is obviously big for the Oilers, getting their second superstar wrapped up. Keeps the Stanley Cup window open for a little bit longer. Keeps the big boys in the city. I'm extremely pumped about it, because obviously we've talked about it at length on Hello Hockey. We talked about it here. There was obviously those rumors and speculation everywhere where, he might be down in LA, he might be going to Dallas, he might be going to Boston. Mm-hmm. Now it's all been
Quashed.
cast aside, squashed. And he's staying in Edmonton, and now all of a sudden you have the ability to try to surround him and McDavid. And I think you keep that window open, so I'm pretty pumped to see him.
You know what's a good point, too, and Dusty was talking about it yesterday, this basically also essentially confirms that McDavid is going to stick around. For those that were scared and worried that, if one goes, the other one goes, which is totally possible, or would have been possible, but now I think it also solidifies Connor's going to stay. They'll figure out the price. Yes, he's going to have to reset the bar. Yes, there's going to be the PA telling him to get the most that he can. Yes, he will likely want to make it as team-friendly as possible, understanding what the pressure is to boost the money. So it'll be interesting, and that's for next summer or whatever, but having Leon in tow, I think, basically solidifies that.
Honest question, is 17 million, is that a number that we could see?
No, 16.
You think it's 16?
A couple million more.
I think everyone's happy. I think the PA could live with 16. I think McDavid could live with 16. I think the Oilers are happy at 16.
Would there be in any world that he'd go to 15?
I don't think so.
Okay, here's the one thing I have with that, because I think you're right with the NHLPA. I think they'll push and they'll try.
They are definitely going to push.
Yes.
Well, what I was thinking about it this morning as I was listening to the morning show. I don't know why hockey. Because I had this with Bouchard yesterday, talking about, well, Cale Makar should be setting the bar when it comes to, how could you say I deserve more when it comes to Cale Makar? Why does McDavid have to set the ceiling, in a sense? Because, like, in football, anytime a quarterback comes up, it's like they'll be the next highest paid quarterback ever. Why can't that be in hockey? Why can't...
I've kind of seen that.
But no one's gone higher than McDavid. It's been very rare. Like it's only till recently people finally got higher than McDavid.
Like McKinnon and then Matthews
and now Leon. Is that it?
Now Leon. Yeah.
So there's been 3 players. Why aren't more players why aren't other players raising the ceiling? And then when McDavid comes, he raises the ceiling a little bit more. Now I know part of this is the cap. You only could get so much of a max deal, so that hurts this a little bit. But Tom Brady was not the highest paid quarterback ever. Unless you're Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or maybe a Josh Allen, other quarterbacks come though and pass them as the highest paid quarterback. Yeah. And they're not the best quarterback in the National Football League, but they come and they take the highest paid. Why don't we see that more in hockey where it doesn't have to be the best player? That's just not the culture. Yeah, why does it have to be McCarr or McDavid raising the ceiling for their positions?
Well, it's a culture of hockey, and I don't agree with it. I don't think it's actually that great. Like we've talked about how, in the NBA, these players will take 4 years so that they can always try to get a little bit more money moving forward. But in the NHL, it's 8 years. And so obviously people say hey, it's job security. It's, you're setting up your family for life, blah, blah, blah. But if you're looking at, trying to max out your career earnings, you want to try to find a way to either always reset the bar, which only helps the entire league at the end of the day. But in hockey, it's one of those things where okay, this guy's a benchmark player. He's the best player at that position. You're not going to exceed him. Right. And I think that's across the league where all these GMs will sit in the room and say, okay, well, if McDavid's the best player in the world, there's only maybe 5 guys that should come into that same stratosphere. Everybody else, not a chance.
Do you think that's an old school mentality that's just 100% kind of stayed in hockey? Because in basketball, baseball, and football, you get these owners and GMs that are well, I know this guy's the best player. Let's use Mahomes or whatever as an example. But then you're Lamar again, example. I'm not going off of what their current contract statuses are. But say it's Lamar Jackson's up and Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league and Lamar is I need $2 million more than what Mahomes is making. And then the GM will be yeah, that's fine. Sure, we'll give it to you. That's how much you mean to our organization.
They always we don't raise care. It higher.
Yeah, it drives up everything though.
Yeah, they don't go, well, he's making this much. You can't make more than him because you're not better according to us than him, even though we love you and you're our guy. They don't think like that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's to me where then the PA just hasn't done a good enough job to push back against this. You can sit there and go to McDavid and be well, you got to raise the ceiling, but why aren't you getting other players to raise the ceiling throughout this time? Next year we'll have Connor's contract be announced, but is there going to be someone in between that maybe has a contract that's going to maybe surpass McDavid's contract as currently right now, or is it still just going to be those 3 guys? I don't know the full contract.
The only guy, in my opinion, or guys, would be McKinnon, but he's already re-upped.
Locked up, yeah.
Matthews, he's already re-upped. Kucherov, maybe.
Pasternak's kind of in that.
But outside of those 5 guys, who else is really going to sit there and go to a GM and say, I want more than McDavid? Because that guy's just going to laugh in his face. But then you go to the market. That's the reality of the NHL.
Well, and that's also part of where loyalty is big in the NHL more than any other league. NBA, we see players moving around. Quarterback-wise, not as much in the NFL, but there's also in the NFL, there's no guaranteed contracts, so teams don't have a lot of loyalty to the other players very quickly. Yeah. But in hockey, they're loyal. Mm-hmm. But maybe there's a time now where some players need to actually be well, if you're not going to give me, I'll walk. And I'll force GMs to give that more money.
Yeah.
Now, I'm glad I'm throwing this out there after Leon is signed and McDavid's going to sign because they don't have to do that. And now Oiler fans can throw it out there to everyone else. But at the same time, Leon just set the bar. He just raised it.
Yeah.
He got up, he raised it. Why aren't more players coming up and raising it? And that's the one thing we sit there and go, McDavid, he's got to raise it for everyone else. Well, yeah, he should have to kind of raise it, but other players should be raising it after that. What's going to happen for the years after McDavid? Is it going to be on Bedard to raise it after that?
I don't even know if he's good enough.
Sure, but you're right. Good point. But who's going to be the guy? Because when Connor signs his 8-year deal, well, that last contract is not raising the ceiling. He might get big money still, but it's not changing a lot because it'll be legacy, all that. So who's that next player then that goes and raises it again? Or when is the PR going to we've got to start raising this with this stable of 12 guys?
Yeah, I don't know who it's going to be, but I mean, I know that it's part of the reason why the salary cap's at the same spot year after year after year. They never do anything to try to push it to make it grow.
Well, now it's finally
starting to move now.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah,
I think
it's going to shoot.
We're going to get to 100 million, I think, in 2 years.
But I mean, realistically, if you look at the NHL, like, should we be talking about, man, 100 million's awesome?
No, especially
Right?
if you're trying to keep pace with the other leagues, which they clearly have fallen so far behind.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
And you look at the way that the current CBA is structured. Well, what's happening? The big boys are getting their money. They're taking up 22 to 25% of the salary cap, which then takes all these players that are in the middle. So the $3 to $4 million players, bye-bye.
out. Yep.
They're not even playing in the NHL anymore. They're squeezed out. And so now you have to fill your roster in with guys that are making, league minimum or somewhere in that league minimum to $1.5 million range. But if you had a salary cap where it's, maybe 120, like, think about the teams that you could possibly have. Like, you could have some legitimate hockey teams. Maybe you create dynasties because, guys are taking a little bit less money so that they can fill out this roster with guys that are legitimate NHLers. But to me, I don't know what's going on with the NHL and how they're, pushing to get that salary cap more. Like,
Does going to 36 teams help that?
I don't know if it does.
Because you're bringing in that extra hockey revenue.
Yeah.
Because this is a gate-driven league. This isn't the NBA and the NFL are TV contract leagues, basically.
Yeah.
100%.
The NBA does need
Yes.
gate revenue. The NFL doesn't. The NFL could play the entire upcoming season without fans and be still making a lot of cash.
Yes.
Yes.
The NBA has a great TV contract. They still need some people to come in. Hockey, though, they're reliant on the gates.
Yes.
So is it by expanding another 4, bringing in enough money that now that
Sadly.
cap could go up another, instead of going up $4 million one year, it's going to go up $8 million.
Yeah. We're talking
you're
about
probably-
1.5 billion for a team now.
Yeah, you're probably right. It does, but at the same time, it saturates your product a little bit.
Oh,
Going to 36 teams, like, there's probably guys in the NHL that don't necessarily.
But that middle
10
class
years ago probably
chance.
don't.
But at least for the first few years, that middle class will get money, won't they? Because you need to fill out another.
Yeah, they'll get a little bit of
80
money.
jobs.
But there's still a lot of guys that are in that realm that are pushed out. And we've seen it across the board. I mean, if you go to whatever, wage site there is right now, there's a lot of guys that are sitting there that were making $3 million, $4 million that don't have jobs.
Right.
And that's year after year after year. So, adding Utah, yeah, sure, there's more guys with jobs, but what's Utah trying to do? Well, they're trying to build their team through the draft, and they're trying to stay young. And the same thing, the Kraken did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going after these guys and saying, hey, you're going to make your $5 million here. They're saying, we want to go young so that we can build and we can be healthy down the road. So there's still guys that are getting pushed out. And yeah, some of them are 34, some of them are 35, but
Like Tyson Barrie should have an
NHL job.
He shouldn't be playing for a PTO.
I agree with you on that.
Like, he obviously had a falling out with Barry Trotz, and they didn't use him. I think he's more than capable and serviceable as an NHL defenseman. Is he a top 4 D-man in the NHL right now? Maybe not anymore, but he's still a good enough D-man and a pro that he should be one of those guys. Well, hey, Tyson, we've got $3-4 million. We know you can play. We need a 5th defenseman, right shot guy, and power play specialist. Would you take $3 to $4 million? Yep, because my options are limited right now.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, I have to sign a PTO with Calgary, the worst team in the Western Conference. Very close. Well, maybe better than San Jose. Because I got into a spat with my GM over the last year. Like, that shouldn't be the case. It is, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I agree. But that's just the new salary cap.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. The big boys will get their money, and I agree, they should. Like, I fully believe that they should. I fully believe that we don't market these guys enough. I fully believe that this league now is star-driven more than it's ever been. So I'll never sit here and say those guys don't deserve their money. They do. But there's a lot of guys in the league that should still be playing in the league. And just like Tom mentioned, they shouldn't be coming in on PTOs. I think Sonny Milano a couple years ago was coming off a year in which he had like 50 points or something ridiculous like that, and he was making $4 million. The following season, he's in, where did he end up?
He ended up with Washington, but he was playing for Hershey or something like that, or Syracuse.
And he was making league minimum or something like that.
Yep.
Like it was outrageous. Like, so how, if every team is looking for that secondary scoring and guys that can come in and help push the pace, well, then how are you taking Sonny Milano, who is a legitimate player, and saying, you know what, you're now PTO status?
And that's the crazy part. Yeah. Brock says, via the text line, Paris Jewels inbox 780-218-9999 says there's not nearly enough talent to make 32 teams. And we know, like, this Pagnotta comes on Hello Hockey, and he's been talking, like, he had the Utah, Arizona thing. He knew the rumblings, and he's been saying, he's like, we're not talking 34 in the NHL, guys. We're talking 36, and we're talking about going back to Arizona. We're talking about going back to Atlanta. Yes, Houston's in the mix. Now New Orleans is in the mix. Like, and all it is those big checks that the players don't get a cut of, that goes straight to the owners as soon as you bring in a franchise or expansion franchise, because that money goes to the league distributes it to the owners, and that's how it works. And they like those huge hundreds of $1 million paychecks. Like,
they got a little taste, and like, how do we get more of this?
Yep.
But aren't
100%.
looking at the ramifications of all of it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Forget the game.
Yep. Some of them won't be around for, they'll probably maybe sell at some point,
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go to 36 a couple years later, you see a franchise sales of 2 or 3 teams because they get their money, and now they'll sell their franchises because values have gone up. And
Well, yeah, like Morello has just walked away.
What do you get?
Like, he has $600 million.
Yeah, I know he took some loss. Someone reminded me that he took like 250 in losses, but for that 5-year period where he owned the Coyotes and ran them into the ground even more, he still came away with a few $100 million.
But paid for.
But go ahead. Sorry.
Well, paid for. Then if you lose 250, got a bill.
Yep.
So walks away with 450.
Yep.
450 million.
Okay, so he walks away with $450 million. He still owns a team in Tucson. He's got the building in Tucson, and I think he was trying to. There was something else where maybe he was moving a team to Tucson or something like that. Where
he was going to try to bring the
money.
Roadrunners up for games in
So
in Tempe.
he's still making like good money, and he's still got his hockey franchise that he wants. Now he just doesn't have to spend as much as the next guy because he's not in the NHL, but he's got an American League franchise, and he's going to make out like a bandit. I think the building that he owns is like 10,000 seat stadium.
Yeah,
it's
in
perfect.
Tucson.
Yeah,
it looks like. Well, they have a decent minor hockey history there, so that goes back, I think, like 50 years. So, that's a mess. And as soon as they said that he was done with the Coyotes and relinquished his window or whatever, that was a good day for the National Hockey League. And like right away, there were already possible suitors for the next Coyotes quote unquote franchise reaching out to the NHL. Like, that's how quickly it was. It was a Morello thing. And Pags and you and I talked about it every weekend basically because it was such a disaster.
Yeah, it was a dumpster fire.
It's just it's a money game for these guys.
I want to be in that game.
Oh,
wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to care. I just own a franchise and then walk away with $450 million afterwards.
And you have a yacht.
Well,
and you go to Monaco
profit
for fun.
450 profit.
Yeah.
Because I lose 250, but I get my 400 mil from.
You could live off that.
Yeah, it would be like what? So we're talking about like 550 actually, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
600 million.
You'd be all right.
American.
Yeah.
I could do some decent things with that.
Sure.
I wouldn't even have to leave. Honestly, I wouldn't even have to leave Arizona. I could live there quite comfortably.
You could hang out at the Glenora Club.
I'll go get front row seats to the
That's
sun.
special.
Yeah. I've never been.
You've never been to the Glenora?
I've been, but I've never been a member. Have you? Were you a member?
Well, I coached at OHA.
Oh, right.
So technically I was a member. I got all the perks of it.
Nice.
It's a nice course.
The Glenora?
Here. Oh, not Glenora. I was thinking Glendale. Sorry.
Oh.
Glendale's super nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that is nice.
That is super nice.
I haven't been
It's all
to.
good. It's all good.
Glenora looks beautiful because they did a bunch of renovations.
They did renos. It took them a few years to do that.
But when I go by it, it's just like, wow.
But they didn't renovate.
By that, I'm saying it looks good from the outside.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it looks like on the inside.
The rink, which was it was part of the plans originally, but because they were overrun and cost too much money, they put the rink in the back burner. Which, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and advocate for that program, but I mean, man. It's a tough building to watch your kid play.
That rink is not NHL size, is it?
No, it's perfect for practice, and that's about it.
Yeah, because it was a figure skating facility,
it's a
right?
figure skating facility, but they have they would used to have games there. And so on the bench, if you were coaching, there was pillars, like random pillars just in the middle of the bench. So you couldn't see past the pillar, but you also couldn't see into the far corners.
Oh, that's good.
Right? So there'd be plays that happen where guys would get blown up or it'd be a dirty hit and you're trying to look and the video couldn't even catch it either. So it was interesting. And then you stuff all the parents into the two ends. Like it's quite interesting.
Unique. Indeed.
Very unique.
We got this text, Maddie. It says, I think there is behind the door talk among GMs to blacklist some players and prevent them from getting a job again. I am not a conspiracy guy. That's why I don't blame Broberg and Holloway at all for leaving for better pay. As you just said, you never know if you will be okay again. That's from Stan. Do you think, I mean, you would know more on that side of things, like that they blacklist players? Do you think that's a thing? I feel like there is some element to
There's
it. But you
for
gotta,
sure some, but I wouldn't say, you got to do something.
Yeah.
They're not going to just blacklist just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
You got to do something pretty egregious, I would say.
And also, but teams won't blacklist an RFA. They own the player's rights.
Yeah.
The players generally, it's a UFA status.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got to do some really
stupid stuff
to make sure that you get blacklisted. I mean, there's been a few. What's Slava Voinov blacklisted?
Well,
I mean,
that was
rightfully so.
Absolutely,
rightfully so.
Yeah, because he got reinstated.
He did, but
he
I don't think anybody
no one
to,
touched him.
Yeah, rightly
because
so.
That's just a media nightmare.
Which is why the NHL, I don't know why they reinstated him.
Yeah, makes no sense.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of guys that, at the end of the day, probably. Yeah, that's a different story. But anyway.
This is the EST Hangout. Matt Iwanyk, Shawn Belle, Tom Gazzola with you here. The official drink of the EST Hangout. It is the Finnish long drink. Legend of 1952. A drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor. Now in Canada.
I love how you crush it at like 9:30 in the morning.
I'm doing
this is a recurring
These are delicious.
They are I had it in Helsinki, and they're like, have you had long drink? I'm like, nope. We'll have it.
So we learned that yesterday, that it was created, the long drink in Finland was created for the 1952 Helsinki Games.
Correct.
And now they're finding ways to get it. And so we've got the Finnish long drink, which is now available in Canada. The longdrink.com/Canada. It shows you which stores have it in Edmonton, because not all stores have it. It tastes like a grapefruit water to me.
Yeah, with vodka base, I think.
Gin.
Oh, gin. Okay.
They're both gin alcohol.
Okay, so
they're very refreshing.
They are
I will
good.
say that.
And I had never heard of it till I went and did that World Championships in 2012, and it's always on tap.
Oh yeah,
at bars in Finland. Yeah, and they were like, long drink is very good. We made it for 52 Olympics, and I was like, okay, I'll have some, and I liked it.
It's Dusty said yesterday, like, you're gonna have to try this, because like people just love it once they try it, and I was like, I can see why.
Yeah.
Again, it tastes like a grapefruit sparkling water to me.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if people are going like, why do they call it long drink? Why couldn't they come up with another name? I don't have the answer, but just everyone calls it long drink.
The Finnish long drink.
It's very simple.
Get it now.
Yeah.
Longdrink.com/Canada.
Drink it for a long time.
Because it's refreshing and citrusy.
Well, I don't think I'm going to drink it for a long time. I'm going to crush it
Are you
pretty
going to have
quick.
another one? Probably.
You went sugar-free.
Oh, in
didn't you?
that sense.
Yeah,
Well,
that
but
sense,
like,
right?
I'm not drinking this one can for a long time.
No, but you're going to have multiples. So you're going to
It is
drink them for a
Wednesday.
long time.
This is the zero sugar one.
Good.
They're gluten-free too.
Very good. Very
my.
good.
Good for your health.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So all you celiacs out there that want to get a little
there
bit
it
crunk,
is. Yep.
Long
drink.
They're going to be great this week with the heat and stuff.
yes, they will be.
Yeah.
Are you off it right now, the booze?
I'm off the booze.
Still?
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks?
4 days.
4 days?
Oh, never mind.
Nice. All right.
I thought this was still from your
No, I'm back.
your performance.
I
Nominated-
bounced back.
You know you were nominated for that performance. Right?
Yeah. I should
Congratulations.
probably win it.
That was impressive.
Well, I will say
I'm just
this.
saying,
I'm
like-
not. So actually, with the STs, I should go into this.
Let's do it.
Do I announce all the 4 finalists on the air prior to the STs? Because you generally would
I
have
think
like
that's a good idea.
I think 'cause, when like the NHL, they announce their 3 finalists for every award, and then we go to the award show and we watch who wins.
Yeah.
We know who the finalists are going into the Grammys or the Oscars or something.
Yeah.
I've got a big list. People are voting on it. That whittles my list to the 4 finalists. Do I announce on air, these are our 4 finalists for each category?
You
I
should.
like that idea.
You should
'Cause I'm
do
thinking
that,
about
and you should
potentially
get it
doing
out
that
on
instead.
social media so people can vote more.
No,
they
so
can
the voting will be
talk
done.
about
It's
it.
done.
No, the voting ends on
I
Thursday
have to vote.
at 5. I think I have it. And then I will compile the list to our 4 finalists. And then I will take it to a, how do I
Secret facility.
Well, a secret. I don't want to call it a secret. I have 4 panelists who will remain anonymous. I will not be going public with the 4 finalists.
He's got this like under.
Yeah, he's
lock.
got it.
I've got my
He's got
4
it dialed
finalists,
in.
and those 4 they know the nasties. They know this. They know EST.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. They will look at those 4 finalists and they will vote. I will meet with them individually, so there's no even like cross between them.
Oh wow!
And
Look at this.
I-
eh?
they
Doesn't
will,
mess around.
and I will give points to it. Like first place is 5 points, second will be 3, third is
rated.
1, 0, 0, or fourth
Yeah.
is 0, and I will add them up, and I will determine my winner for each category, or the winner for each category. But so I feel like I have to. I feel like I should be able to be like one day, be like, here's our 4 finalists.
I like that idea because people want to know, like, if there's some of our viewers, audience, listeners that are like, oh, Estes, you know, that's kind of silly. Yes, that's A, we acknowledge that, but B, it's like, oh, I wonder who won that, or I think it's because it's going to be a fun night, and maybe there's a few people that are like, you know what, I might join them and go for $10 and have a fun time at the Garno on the 17th, and then perhaps have a long drink or beverage of some sort, perhaps a 6 o'clock or lager, followed by Birdie Booze at Hudson's on White Avenue.
So having a good time at night, yeah, it sounds awful. I would hate to do that too.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I will not be having a good time on the 17th.
You need to have it early.
Like, come on, Lindsay, just start shaking her.
Because you can't do it.
Maybe.
It can't be late.
Yeah.
Because then it's like it could be that night.
I agree.
But you know, if
It's earlier, maybe.
baby 2
Yeah.
comes on Friday, you've got like a week and a half
Yeah.
to settle things in.
Yeah, I get it.
You know?
Yeah.
Are you ready for baby 2? Is that like the nursery?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. I don't
Okay. How's
know
Evie
if you
doing?
ever can be that ready.
Is Evie
Well,
ready?
Evie's ready.
Okay. Big sister.
I've learned what, and I don't have any kids, but number 2 is easy, and it's more like less. I don't want to say less caring, but you a little more like the kid could take a little more bump, and you're a little like because you've already done it
fine.
with one, and you know that it's not as big of a deal. With the second kid, it's a little more
This
just
is-
like
this is true.
laid back.
Yeah.
I've heard, where it's just like, oh, you fell.
Yeah.
And you gotta-
this is true.
You got a boy on the way. This kid's going to be a bull.
And I'm going to push him over. Just
Okay.
get out of here.
You love him,
Yeah, like
but
daughter, it's just like super gentle. Boy, just throw him over. Actually, but lately she's been asking me to throw her around.
Evie?
So yeah, she'd be like, Daddy, can you pick me up and throw me? Like, sure.
into the couch.
Like get onto the bed, like
Yeah.
just throw her onto the bed and she has a kick out of it. So
That's funny.
Yeah.
She's adorable.
Chris saying, thanks for letting me know about the new long drink. Got myself a case yesterday and crushed the whole case.
No.
Hashtag
Wow.
Yummy.
Nice little Tuesday, Chris.
I'm assuming it was the 6-can case that we have like here, and not
Yeah.
like a 12-pack. But see, they are that good. And a bunch of people saying yes. Announce the top 4. Box Pounder, great idea.
Yep.
Surveyor Brett, announce it. Pander's Pancakes, announce the top 4. So what we'll have to do, we're not publishing the ballot, Surveyor Brett, and that's not happening.
yeah.
I will gladly show the people around here some of the results so that they can see that I'm not rigging this. But it will not be fully published. I need to protect the sanctity of private voting.
Right.
I can see everyone's vote. I could go in and see exactly who it was and who you voted for.
I love that.
I'm not going to put people out there. And I don't want our final 4 panelists to be pressured in any way, shape, or form.
I respect that.
Vote for me.
I like this too. Yeah, vote for Belsey. Corey B says, "Are you going to let the finalists know I need to have time to write a speech?"
Finalists, yes, absolutely. I think we'll do that. So the plan, I'm thinking maybe I'll do it on Friday this week, depending on how my hangout works out for this week. Otherwise, we'll do it next week sometime.
Okay. Sounds
I got to compile 5 Nasty Club annual members and the staff of EST. Did I send you the link?
yeah.
Okay,
think so.
perfect. If not, let me know, because you're part of the crew here, so you'd get a vote as well. Thursday 5 shuts off. I'm just turning it off.
I'm gonna vote
I can
today.
turn it off, and then I'll compile the voting, and I will take the top 4 of each guy. Now, some of them have an automatic top 4 because there was only 4, so they're all going to go through. But it's good to see how people are voting and terms of first, second, third, and fourth. The EST, September 17th, Metro. Tickets $10. Matt at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. It's just email me to get your tickets. Cash asking how much time for acceptance speeches. LOL. Oh, I never even thought of that. You're going
Minute.
minute and a half, 2 minutes.
30 seconds.
Can't go more than 2.
Start the music.
I want to see the
we
thing
got
is,
places to be.
Yeah.
well, you won't even be there.
Hey.
According to the contract I have with Metro, we get in at 5:15. Doors open at 6:15. So I've got an hour to fully set up the PowerPoint presentation for the night and figure out how I'm going to play music.
You're going to find a way to do it off your phone.
Well, I'm hoping like there's got to be an aux cable somewhere
There has to be.
that I could then click and slowly like deal with all of that so I can play the PowerPoint and do that. And I'm also hoping it's really close to the stage because I need to hand things. Otherwise, I'm going to have someone running the PowerPoint and the music. I don't know who's going to do that. We're going to need a ticket taker.
Yeah.
We need to order a red carpet.
Yes. I thought Jay got that.
Well, I checked with the Metro Cinema. They do not have a red carpet. And I am working on a marquee for the up front.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, we get one line.
Yeah.
So, but there's a fee for a second line. So I'm curious if they'll give us that second line. Otherwise, the first line is going to be like ST's presented by EST.
Yeah.
But I want Edmonton Sports Talk.
Yeah.
So
maybe there's some wiggle room to negotiate. Also, the Garneau Theater, as I studied up on last week, built in like 1942. And it is like one of the last remaining of that era in Canada or Western Canada. And part of like some of the fixtures and lights and stuff have been brought in from other theaters across Western Canada and the United States that had been shut down. So like there's like lights from a similar theater in Coeur d'Alene that got shut down. There was one in Regina or Saskatoon that had some features to it. And when it shut down, the Garneau Theater brought that in too. So kind of neat. It's an old school theater. Built in the 40s. And like actually there's a photo of it from like 1942 and you look at 109th Street leading to White Ave and you're like, oh my God, there was nothing there. Nothing. There was a gas station beside it.
I believe they don't have AC.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that sounds
So
right.
I'm really hoping that it's not like a 30-degree day.
Get a comfortable like
Oh man, if it's a
21 degree day.
Like, that's-
day, you guys are gonna be sweating through those tuxes.
I just looked, and one of the forecast things I have has it at 22 for the high,
That's
which is
perfect.
perfect.
Yeah.
By the time 7, it's gonna start cooling. I can live with that. But if it's like a scorcher of a day, it's gonna be like.
I kind of hope it's a scorcher.
Rude.
Oh, Raider Jesse.
bit.
I'm not going in there, Raider Jesse. Fergie's prostate. I need to get in at 5:30 to tune my pipes. Fergie, yeah, you can. We'll make that work. We'll have to connect. We'll find people. I don't know what time everyone's getting there. Dusty's going with his family with a limo. I don't know if he's going to be there for setup or what.
Sure.
I love it. I really wish I could be there for this because this is going to be hilarious.
My brother's coming up from Calgary for it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Amazing.
My other
Folks are
brother will be
sad.
there
My
too.
folks are out of the country, so they won't be able to go. But I think my brother's going to be coming. It's going to be ridiculous. And I'm actually working on getting Reed and Jay's show to be broadcast live from the
That's
Metro
awesome.
that afternoon.
That'd be
I'm
cool.
talking with them there, and she just asked me, I was like, "How much? What do you need?" And I was explaining, and I was like, and "We'll throw you love towards the Metro.
Yeah.
like we'll give them love. I've never been.
I saw a movie there like when I was like 10 years old, and I don't remember much from it. I just remember that. Oh, this is an old theater. It looks nice though.
Also, pre-plan how you getting there. One, because of the after party and everything. Two, I don't know that area is not great for parking. I don't believe.
It's tight.
Yeah.
It's tight.
So I'm just gonna throw that out there. Expecting right now between 150 and 200 people.
Yeah, I wouldn't drive down there
No.
because there's no place to park unless you're planning on walking from the university.
Or
Yeah,
White
and
Ave.
it's university time
White
too.
Ave.
Like and your
Yeah.
school's back.
Yeah. So I wouldn't even
students.
bother driving.
They're and that's residential for students and stuff right
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just gonna
true.
throw
Get a
that
bunch
out
of
there.
town cars, have them just roll up and make it a massive event so everybody's walking by and like, what's going on over here?
High level bridge.
There is a group of nasties coming in a limo.
Sick.
I love that.
Yeah, but like for you guys coming from downtown, you guys should have a town car coming. Guy gets out,
Get an Uber XL.
opens the door, boom, here you guys come.
Actually, I might drive, park, and then I'll go home, drop off my car, and then go to Hudson's.
That, you know how it's super quick if you hit no traffic to get from our place to Hudson's to White Ave. Like, I've made it, the secret is 103rd Street, but
Well, don't tell people that.
I know, but nobody uses it.
Well, now they are.
But remember, like, when we were doing pre and post in the playoffs and you were filling in for Cass?
Yep.
And we had the one show at White Ave and we quickly made it to the rink and back in like
Yes.
10 minutes.
Yep.
That's leaving the press box, walk it to my building,
Yep.
hopping in your vehicle. I think it was like 10 minutes we made
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it was quick.
just very quick.
Oh, Caster, 1990 Ken, who has been coming to quite a few of the green and gold kickoff shows at Century. They don't have AC, but they have several large roof fans, which is quite comfortable for the audience.
Oh.
Backstage, I have no idea. That's great to know.
That is good to know.
Is there a green room?
Is there a-
Or a champagne
I still
room?
got to plan. Like, we got to figure. I'm working on the presentations. Who's going to be the presenters to start, and which awards they will present. I got to work on the script and build all that out. That's my weekend's plans.
Man,
I've never ran an award show before, so
I don't think many of us have.
No.
I'm going to add this to the resume
This
one day.
is
Executive producer of the Estes.
I love it.
I'm going to send my resume to the Grammys after.
Norman,
you ever need any help? I did the Estes.
Yeah, I did the Estes by myself.
Forget limos, boys, or town cars. Norman at Combine says the EPS won't let him bring the Combine.
What a shame.
Damn police.
Get a chopper,
shame.
boys.
Get to the chopper.
To the chopper.
Just landing in the middle of the road in a chopper.
That would be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Duck Dead. Estes are completely rigged to the point Quinn is going to be running the show next year. It's not rigged. It's not even going to be close to being rigged. I am actually not voting at all in this.
Great reference, though.
I am not voting in one way, shape, or form. I have removed myself completely. I am not going to be voting on the Estes through the regular form, and I'm not one of the the panelists. Everyone here knows who the 4 panelists are.
I don't.
Tell you off the air.
2 out of the 3 people here know who the panelists are. Yeah, I could tell you after.
Okay, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
You couldn't be part of it because no, you couldn't because you're up for awards.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was trying to remove it so people can't vote
Trying to
for
be
themselves.
objective.
Okay.
So
Well, that's good. I mean, I just want to win at least one.
trophies, actually,
I think you're a favorite for, was it, what's that category that we called?
The Warrior Award.
Gutsiest performance of the year.
Warrior Award. Yeah.
Yeah.
With that said, the trophies I think are being delivered to my place today.
Are they labeled, like, or is it just a trophy?
They're individually labeled for each category.
Wow.
That's so good.
Okay.
They're on their way. They're supposed to arrive today between by like 1 o'clock today or something.
I'm gonna go up to your place and open the box up and see them first.
They have to be assembled apparently.
Oh, do you need help?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well,
It's because they sent me an email yesterday because this actually I found a place in Lloyd that it's like it's some trophy place in Lloyd that has been doing it for like 40 years or something. So I put this order in. Great deal. I think they look awesome. Dusty saw them. He picked like on the website like 4 of them. I had like 3 of them in my mind anyways. So it was like perfect. Okay, we're in line.
Yeah.
But they emailed yesterday saying to make sure they deliver safely, it needs to be assembled, and they're giving me all the tools to assemble it, but they want to make sure there's no issues.
Huh.
I was like, oh, that I respect that. As long as it's not hard to assemble.
I'm sure you can figure it out.
But
You're handy. Screwdriver, wrench.
I'm hoping there's not more than that. Like that's the thing. Like
Well, it
it
just
should be
depends,
like a
obviously, what
screwing
kind of-
something, tightening things up.
Yeah, like
that
what
I
kind
can
of
deal
trophy
with.
Is it like is it normal like bowl kind of style on top?
Please
You
tell
don't
me
need to.
there's
You
a
don't need to get rid of
content
that. Like you don't need to tell people, but if it's just one on top, one on the bottom with the base,
bolt. Screw it together.
screw it together, boom,
Put a
done.
bolt in. Away we go. Jasmine texting in. She is requesting complimentary champagne in flute glasses.
Of course she is. Of course she is. Would you guys like to see the trophy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
That is
nice.
awesome.
And it has the Estes right there.
Yeah.
And it has the award there. I'm not showing
Oh,
it.
yeah,
People are
that's
going to,
amazing.
and no one else is going to get to see this until Estes
That
Day and
looks
then following.
really good.
So that's the trophies that
Well
we
done,
got.
Matthew.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. Actually, there's a mock-up somewhere in my emails. If I could find it quickly.
I still can't believe we're doing this. Like, it's ridiculous and amazing all at the same
Oh,
time.
there it is.
Yeah.
See? It has the little
That looks awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's the words we have. 23 of them to be handed out.
I like it.
And I've got to eliminate a couple of them.
Wow.
From the show.
Yeah.
Like they'll be awarded, but it'll be
the filler kind
it'll
of
be
thing.
like at one point somebody's going to come up and be like, prior to the show, we announced the winners for, and then we'll just name like 6 of them. This winner won, this person won this person won this, this person won this.
Voice of
and
God.
no one comes up and gets the trophy. It's just, it's pre-presented. So, Clausen's going to present.
I love that.
He's good for presenting. So
This is great.
I've got a few things. So I'm slowly working on it.
Did you see Zach to come try to rap battle Clausen?
Yeah, I did.
He got smacked.
Yeah, I don't want to bring that back up.
No, that's good.
No, Clausen though sent me his rap for the green and gold kickoff show.
Klaus is good.
Yeah,
He's good.
he's very good.
Yeah, but he created a rap for
Zach Pickham should never do it again.
A for effort. Everything else, no bueno. Suggest different category
You know what? Actually, sorry.
program.
Do you remember last week when we talked about the CFL and there's some rules that they needed to get rid
Like
of?
the Rouge, which I stand by.
I've
It's
been
so
meaning to
wrong.
send this stuff to you guys.
What?
But I was scrolling on Twitter last week, and all of a sudden I see this article, and it's like the CFL needs to get rid of these things for it to be a legitimate league.
It is a legitimate.
And I was like, that part I was kind of like, well, it's a legit league, so I
Yes.
don't agree with that part.
Yeah.
But Rouge was number 1 on the list, and I was like, man, Maddie, you're gonna get this. Then I totally forgot. But now there's other people on this bandwagon.
There's not a lot.
Even Ambrosi acknowledged he would be open.
Cool. You got an awful commissioner agreeing.
You were very kind to him a couple of weeks ago when he was on this program.
I asked him very point blank whether the Grey Cup's coming to Edmonton or not. I don't think he liked that question.
Screw that.
So what was the answer?
He didn't really answer.
There's a roundabout yes.
So it's a yes.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It'll be coming, I'm pretty sure.
Has to be.
No, yeah, it's not terrible. He doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to the Rouge.
Get rid of
Just
it.
like the two of you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to the Rouge.
We're not going back down
It's-
this path, but I just wanted to make sure
I
that you knew that there was an article out there that said it.
Yeah, by who? By AI?
I don't know.
ChatGPT wrote this article?
I hope
Get
not.
out of here.
I will say this. I had a wonderful conversation with Lucas Holt this weekend. And we came up with the idea that if it goes through the end zone on a missed field goal, that's it. No
That's the Rouge?
No Rouge. But the Rouge stays outside of that. Punt, kickoff, and if it doesn't get returned on a missed field goal. But if it goes through the end zone, no Rouge. And then I think we both could live with that, and that's how we're going to move forward. That is how
Stupid.
our fantasy football league somewhat handles it. Our fantasy football league gives 0 Rouges to missed field
Well,
goal.
you oversee all of that and verify every punt single.
Actually, the CFL stats make it very easy for that.
Well, there were 2 the other night.
Yeah. Well, actually, the Elks got 3 Rouges, though.
3.
On Monday.
Oh, all right.
They had
Wow.
2 early and then 1 at the end of the game, all on punts. That's worth a field goal.
Wild.
Jake Julian.
I really want to know
Big
I still want to know what the other rules now are.
I gotta find this article. but-
CFL needs to get rid of rules. I'm trying
Shorten
to see.
the end zones by 5 yards.
No.
And away we go. Get rid of the Rouge, and we're laughing. It's all good.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not seeing anything right off the way.
Did the resetting of the downs with the punt, was that one of them? You know how Montreal's been doing that?
I think that was one of them.
I
too,
don't
yeah.
have an issue with that at all.
Like, how do you
Be a better defense and
You
stay
gotta be
close to the
tighter,
line.
yeah.
Don't allow. The fact is, if you're closer to him, he won't do it because there's a risk that if you could jump on and it's a turnover because you got the ball and in a great position.
Did you see the quarterback punt on 4th down in college over the weekend?
No.
There was a situation. They were like 4th and long. I don't think he liked what he read on the defense, so he
Punt. College.
laid down a nice punt. He punted like 25 yards and basically got it down to the 5.
I'm trying to see.
It was
if I can
actually
read
pretty
about it.
smart.
Oh, here it is right here.
Like he got up to the line. He looked. I don't think he liked what he saw from the defense.
So he just punted it.
He just put it down, punted it. It was smart.
Okay, what site? Firstly,
Hub.ca.
what
The Hub.ca.
the heck is the hub.ca?
I don't know. I'm gonna send it to you, and then you
Oh
can read
yeah,
it.
so I don't even know what I'm reading, but yeah, this is a great article.
It
Read
might
this, Matt.
be ChatGPT.
Yeah, right off the bat, it's going to possibly ChatGPT.
Not a chance.
Like I know SI
there a
does
line?
ChatGPT.
Matthew Grills.
Well, that sounds like
This
a real
guy
name.
here is a
Yeah,
guy
'cause
that
you can't
had this
ChatGPT
article.
that stuff.
It comes out, and he goes, "It's the Hub Canada." You can see it.
263 followers.
I'm just saying, I saw this article. It popped up, and boom, it's sent right to you now. You have it. Other people are
The
starting
guy
to pick
hasn't
this up.
has 4 posts this year.
Doesn't
That's
matter.
it.
He posted
The
that.
hub
He posted that
.ca.
one.
Okay, let's go
Byline
through
on there?
this.
Go through
Let's
it.
go through it. I want to see this.
Oh, I got to send it to you then. Two times.
It's
Here's a nice.
it's not even
text.
written in a way that I have to actually read this article. If you're gonna do this, put it
Well, yeah, you actually have to read an
Yeah.
article to go through
No,
it. You
no.
can't just clickbait the thing.
Yeah, put it separate it where you put little headlines so it sees which rule you're talking about. Now I have to go through this to try to find. I'm trying to do a show here, Belzy.
Man, what a tough day for you.
Well, I'm trying to do a show.
Kid can't even read.
So you need to look. So last week's walk off Rouge. Well, I don't want to miss these rule changes he wants. And I'm not reading it all. He doesn't deserve all that praise.
Oh my God.
What do you got?
I'm trying to figure out where he gets to the rules that need to change. Oh, here we go. The longer, wider field,
I don't agree with that.
12 players per side, 3 downs per possession, 2 timeouts, the Rouge, the goalposts in play, all must go. So basically, everything that makes the Canadian Football League different than the National Football League
I said
must
that there
go.
was
So why don't we
things-
just make this the National Football League?
I said, first of all, that I don't agree with the full article. I said there's definitely things in there that need to go. Rouge being one of them. Gots to go.
The guy's using an Angus Root poll from 2023 saying Canadians closely follow the NFL and the CFL. Okay, he doesn't recognize the fact that actually 25-54 TV numbers have gone up over the last
Yes.
couple of years.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
guy's clueless. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Right off the bat. What kind of article is this?
Hey, it's an
right
article.
off the bat.
It's an article. A guy took time to write this thing out.
Are
and
you
say,
sure?
Here's my opinion.
I'm chat GPTing the look on this.
So that you can run like a screen, right? Like that can tell you.
It could tell you if it's a little bit of if it's a bot or something.
Okay.
I'll see if he used it that way. Like, oh, what a great article this guy wrote. Oh, the CFL should like to grow. What they should do is maybe they should be the NFL. Oh, here's
VR. I'm
Hold up.
not even remotely salty today. I'm in a great mood.
Matthew Grills, and he doesn't deserve the name Matthew. I'll tell you that right off the bat.
Oh, man.
Is
Here
a
we
government
go.
relations specialist. He resides in Stouffville, Ontario with his wife and 3 sons. Oh, great. Let's listen to the government here.
I was so curious as to where you were going with that.
Wow, I like this.
But you know what? I like this version of you, Maddie.
He's spicy.
I do like
That's
it.
what happens when you get him a long drink.
Checker.
Yeah, long drinks getting them going.
Okay, and while you do the AI checker, I'm gonna stack up these texts that came in. All right, here we go. This one says, I wish everyone would just expletive off about getting rid of the Rouge. Anti-Rouge discussions seriously make the vein in my head quiver. Why the hell would you want to shorten the end zones? The NFL end zones are a joke, predictable offensive schemes. I haven't even read the article, and I don't like this guy already. Well played.
That guy's an idiot.
Thank you.
And he's a nobody. Like,
It's complete nobody.
It's just, I don't know why that article,
It
have
exists,
you seen
but
this
it
article?
exists.
It
I
exists.
saw it.
Yeah.
You did?
The stupid article about trying to become the NFL.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just didn't know.
Yeah, but
I don't.
So
think-
it
I
is-
don't agree that they
it
should
is
become
human-
the NFL.
No, don't.
That part, no.
Part of it is it does say the checker says it's human written.
All
So he
right.
doesn't have any-
There you go. So
he's
he
just
wrote
an
it.
idiot. So he's just a full idiot. He can't even blame ChatGPT for being an idiot. He's just an idiot.
Oh my God.
You interrupted your lunch to tell us this.
No, I've done my lunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he's an idiot. It's simple as that. The league's fine.
Just shorten the end zones by 5 yards.
This everything he
End
has.
zones are fine too.
No, they're too deep.
I'm just. Where do you stand on the Rouge though?
LeBron sucks.
Loves
Like,
the
would you
Rouge.
make
Now
any
that being
change?
said, I might take it out in the final 3 minutes.
See, I don't think you could do that. You can't change scoring when
that's
scoring
yeah.
because I could score a Rouge at the beginning of a third quarter, but I can't score
It's
the
one of those
third.
things that happens, man.
Okay, I can live with that.
Hey, Reed Wilkins.
Hey.
Oh, Reed. Hey.
Like,
Here, this is the time we're arguing about the Rouge.
well, not we're arguing about an
Get rid
idiot
of
from
it.
some.
No.
Well, I don't know if we're arguing so much about the Rouge more than the guy that now is an
The
idiot.
article, yeah.
There's an idiot from Ontario who wrote an article. I'm just calling him that.
To become more like the NFL.
Wasn't that a couple weeks ago?
No, it was like last week.
Yeah, it's like,
Last
yeah.
week, when I saw the headline, I was like, I
Yeah.
don't need to read it.
Well, I don't think the guy watches. Like, he's,
I did. You don't have to read.
Yeah, it's a waste.
Now
It's
Maddie's
awful.
all spiced up and
Who is this
Now,
guy?
mission
half
has
the
been
office-
accomplished.
Yeah.
This guy's
Mission
this-
accomplished.
He's the worst. Like, again, like at least
100%.
okay.
Yeah.
I could live with it if he went. You want to know what could make the Canadian Football League great better is you eliminate the Rouge and then added a couple different things to make it better, not just the same talking points of make it the NFL.
See,
That's
it-
what he
I don't
went
think
with.
it would ever
Everything
thrive.
there, he was like, it's just, that's what the NFL is.
The CFL, in my opinion, wouldn't thrive if they tried to make it the NFL.
No,
No,
of
because
course
if
not.
you want a
Because it's-
4-down
yeah.
league, watch the NFL or watch NCAA football. That's what I do.
Yeah.
It's simple. Like
You're
Canadian
jazzed up right
game-
now.
Well,
I
this
love
is like
it.
such
Good, I
a
know.
dumb article.
I love it. But
I
you're
was
still
expect-
involved in it right now,
Because I
aren't
was
you?
expecting something actually more creative.
You're in the deep
than
dive
longer,
process.
wider field, tall players, 3 downs, 2 timeouts, the Rouge goalpost. They all must go. Like, what the hell is that?
I
Why
love
don't
the
you message
goalposts
him?
in play. I love the wider field. I for the most part appreciate the longer field, except for my exception, which is shorten the end zones by just 5 yards, plenty of room to make offense happen. And then everything else, I'm a big fan of. I love the CFL.
I'm getting season tickets next year.
I think I
Good,
found
you should
his.
buy them right beside us.
No, I'm going in the standing.
Oh,
Standing section. Yeah.
Of course you would.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
All right.
I'm trying to see. I think I made.
Party zone.
Hey,
Did I find his LinkedIn?
Oh man, Maddie's gonna bombard this guy.
Well, oh, this might be him. He's his LinkedIn picture doesn't have a beard or glasses, but I think it's him. I just want to see where this guy's. Oh, this one works at Wilfrid Laurier. Oh. Or maybe he's not in government as much anymore.
Oh.
Oh, he's in Wilfrid Laurier. Oh, yeah, he works at Wilfrid Laurier University, Director, Government and Community Relations. He used to work at BMO, used to be in the Office of the Prime Minister under, that looks like Harper.
all right.
It's just a deep dive Maddie's in right now.
This guy's
You were
just-
down the wormhole.
Maddie, you
Terrible.
send him a handwritten letter too. Now that you have his address.
Yeah, you're gonna get a.
Oh, I might have,
This
I might
guy's
have,
gonna get an
I might
angry
have to
letter.
link in message him and be like, you wrote the worst article on the Canadian Football League. No wonder you're out of the Prime Minister's office now.
Oh snap! This
This is
text
great.
has an article headline that I think I take. I enjoy. 3 ways to fix the NFL. Add a rouge. Eliminate one offensive down. You can't give off that many chances. Increase the size of the field. Well played. Well
Oh, I
played.
love that. So good.
Yeah. Well
I was
played.
expecting something better. That guy doesn't deserve to have the name Matthew.
You were very frustrated.
Yeah.
This text comes in and says, Ambrosi played 9 years in the league, won a Grey Cup, and was an All-Star multiple times, but knows less about the CFL than Matt Iwanyk. Okay.
Damn right. Damn right. At least when it comes to the Rouge.
Iwanyk, or not. Yeah, okay. Disagree. With respect. But Ambrosi ran a Fortune 500 company as well, I think, before
was a really
took
good
the,
businessman
Yeah, before he took
prior
the
to the
CFL commissioner's job, yeah.
I will say, in truth, as a commissioner, he's done a great job in the end solidifying ownership across the league.
Yes. Numbers are up,
Numbers are
audience-wise,
up. There are a lot of criticisms I do have of
and
Randy.
rightly so.
There's a lot. Like, losing an entire football season for COVID
Yeah.
was a big
Yeah,
fail.
that's tough.
Yeah.
The CPL played. The CBL found a way to play. When he went to the House committee to get money, he went without the PA. And he
Yeah.
wasn't prepared for it at all, and it was
Yeah.
like this was not good. So there's a lot of flaws I do have with Randy.
Absolutely.
But him knowing the Rouge, he just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Mark Cohan was great. Tom Wright was great.
Mark Cohen was amazing.
Yeah, he was excellent.
Jeffrey Orridge was a disaster.
And that's why he lasted 1 season.
He was a
It
disaster.
was a terrible hire
So
for that role. Like, apparently, he's a smart executive, but in that role, it was not the right fit. Ambrosi, definitely mixed results. I think the intentions are good, and there have been positive results, like you said. That's a good one. Is the ownership? There's never been a better stable of owners
Yeah.
in the CFL.
There's money.
than right now.
it's real money.
Deep pockets. Yeah,
I will say though, like I've been advocating for the CFL going on CTV for a long time,
they finally did it.
but it's not on TSN either. Like it's a one or the other this weekend. I think.
Oh.
I think it's only on CTV and there's nothing on TSN, which doesn't make sense to me. I like when you do that, you simulcast it in both, like you do on
Yeah.
everything else. There are some people out there that only pay for TSN.
TSN.
Yeah.
And now they don't get to watch these CFL games. And the only reason they pay for TSN is the CFL. They don't pay for because they don't have the national hockey rights deals. There's some people that specifically pay for the CFL TSN streaming package, and now they lose out on the Banjo Bowl this weekend possibly because TSN's not showing it.
And that would be bad.
Although at the same time, if you pay for TSN directly on TSN Plus, you would get the enhanced feed of it. So I guess there is still a way to watch it. But I just thought when you would do it, you would simulcast on both.
That would make sense. I mean, they have 5 channels for crying out loud.
Yeah. So I don't think that's happening this weekend. At least I think if you have just TSN, like unless you have TSN Plus, you have to watch it on CTV. But it is great that it is going to CTV, including the playoffs and the Grey Cup. I do want to throw this out there. September 25th, Acme Meats. And Corey the Butcher, he has a benefit, a silent auction and a night from 6 until 9. Meet up in the market as he's part of the Butchery Team Canada who are going to Paris and for the Worlds. They're just raising some cash to go for travel for both to get to the Paris as well as for practices. He was saying it's like 10 grand for each practice for them to all come together. $100 tickets includes 1 beer, food and raffle ticket where you could win a a quarter of Alberta beef, which is valued at $1,400. Some of the other silent auctions, there's some EST swag, dining experiences across some top tier cities or restaurants in the city. A side of pork cut by Corey, a chicken pack for your freezer cut by him, lots of other things. Corey's going to be on the Hangout in a couple of weeks to discuss more about Butchery Team Canada. But if you would like your tickets, go to Acme Meat Market or email acme.meatmarket@gmail.com. This is the EST Hangout live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in iHeartRadio, as well as those watching on YouTube or those listening to the podcast. Matt Iwanyk, Shawn Belle, Tom Gazzola with you here. This Matthew guy is annoying me.
You are really wound up about this. We've gotten a lot of great responses, and I know like we've had this debate, especially when you're on, and I love it because you and I are the dream team, shake and bake.
Yeah.
Anti Team Rouge. And it gets bad. Yeah, he just rolled
the
his
two
eyes.
of you and Don Ellis and DVD. Look at you guys go. Everyone else is with me.
But it gets people talking, and we've got some more.
Maddie, you're getting
coming.
sympathy votes.
I don't get sympathy votes. You can never put Matthew Iwanyk and sympathy votes in the same sentence.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maddie riles people up, but
But I'm riling Maddie up.
I know.
right now.
People are voting for something I'm in favor of. They're doing it because they believe in that.
You're
and
like
going,
the
I'm on
ultimate
Matt.
heel, hey?
I'll take that.
Yeah.
and he loves it.
But
Okay.
right now you're getting out-heeled by me. Because I got you in a mental pretzel. Look at you're back in that article
I was looking
again.
at-
Yeah, right. You were in
I'm
that
on the
article
nasty
again.
chat.
Now you are.
Let me read these texts.
There's nothing. It's all gone. Although his LinkedIn is right there still. I still got his LinkedIn.
Oh my! You bookmarked that.
He only has
page, haven't you?
305 connections. I probably have more. And I don't even use LinkedIn.
Wow. You are pissed.
I got
I
500
love-
plus
I love
connections.
this.
Deal with that,
I
Matthew
love
Grills.
this.
Okay. I hope Matthew Grills finds out about this and comes on the show. Yeah.
Same with me.
Yeah.
Matt at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Matt, email me. Let's go
It's
back
just
and
a one,
forth.
it's a one-on-one
I'm not worried.
hangout. One-on-one hangout. Matthew versus Matthew.
The first ever hangout where we have a virtual guest.
It's a one-on-one. Yeah.
Oh, it'd be so good.
Okay. This is Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. What is going to matter about it shortening the end zone 5 yards besides reducing chances for missed field goal returns? Bad take, Tommy. Does the NFL ever go to a slightly larger field? The players keep getting bigger and bigger. My rationale for the shortening the end zones is just to create more chaos in the box in a 15-yard end zone as opposed to a 20-yard end zone. And I know it gets kind of busy in the end zones in the CFL, but you look at those things and it's just too big. It's too, and this, listen, totally subjective, but I look at the end zones in the CFL, I'm like, there's way too much room in the back. I just would prefer a 15-yard end zone. Again, everything else with the field dimensions, no issues with the field goal post being at the front. Just the rouge in the end zones to me, and that's it.
Look at Matty right now, by the way. He's stewing.
No, he's stewing all right. Another one says, I just don't understand how one could be against Rouge. It's simple. Like, you're rewarding failure, and I know you're encouraging kick returns, and I like that. We saw a kick return touchdown last game.
How is it failure on a punt?
Because
you missed. To the end zone?
You didn't accomplish. You're supposed to coffin corner.
Some teams go for the point. How is it? How
stupid.
How on a kickoff is it a failure?
Because you're not supposed to be kicking for points.
But how is it a failure on a kickoff?
It's silly. To me, it's silly. When I watch the game, I go, well, that's silly. Why are you giving them a point for that?
The point isn't given to
them for not doing it right.
It isn't given to the kicking team. It's it's awarded because the other team didn't return it.
I hate that rationale. I understand.
That's the rationale, but that's what the rule is.
Yeah, but on a punt, your job as a kicker is to try to get you inside the 20, right? You're trying to flip field position.
Yeah.
You're trying to put your defense in the best position so that if they get a stop, you get better field position. So as a punter, I'm basically getting hired so I have the skill to coffin corner, to put teams in bad spots. But when I just have to kick this thing as hard as I possibly can and try to get it through the end zone, well, what skill is that?
Outside of having a strong leg.
There's no skill in that.
No,
I'm just going to kick this thing as hard as I can.
The guy caught it in the 1, inside the end zone, like 1 yard into the end zone. He has a choice to make. He could return it.
If you're 1 yard inside the end zone, you're coming out of that thing every single time.
Like a bat out of hell.
But if I can now coffin corner you into the 1 yard line, to me as a punter, that's a good skill to have.
Yeah.
I'm a valuable punter because now I'm making things hard for the opposing team.
Well, but special like coaches and GMs will prefer that punter still because they don't want to give up that point because they don't want to give up the field position.
Well, yeah, you're not going to give up field position when I coffin corner you.
It's in the end.
I kick it out of the end zone, you go to the 25, right?
I get a point because I'm going to give you field position. That's what it is. That's the exchange.
I don't want you
it.
to have field position. Because if I can put you into under the 5 yard line and my defense is good, and we get the ball back, and now all of a sudden they kick it back to the 50 and my guy runs it 10 yards, well, I'm at the 40 already. Mm-hmm. So now I'm just giving my team an opportunity to put more points up because as a punter, I did my job and I kicked it into the perfect spots. I showed my skill off. Not, hey, I'm going to boot this thing as hard as I possibly can, put it through the end zone. Oh, I got a point. Yay.
You want us to put now, so the great punter coffin corners it, and we just get the ball going out of bounds. CFL, we get more returns. We get better returns, which is more exciting.
Just saying.
Which is way more exciting. So because of that, we get more excitement. Oh, but let's bring a touchback in, so then it's a knee, and then they're just going right to the 20.
Yeah.
Way better.
Yep.
No, I don't want you to take a knee either. Like I like the fact that they run it out.
When the punter fails at his job, it's a touchback and the ball's placed at the 30, the 35. I can't remember what it is now. There's nothing.
Did they move it back 5 yards?
I forget what they do all the time with all of that.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Canadian Football League, it's you want to take that knee, you want to catch the ball in the end zone, or you want to let that ball go into the end zone. Cool. You'll get the field position, but your team's giving up a point. So return that ball. The NFL, there is zero encouragement to return a punt that lands in the end zone.
So basically, if I'm the Elks right now, then based on what you're saying, is I'm going to hold an open tryout to see who has the strongest leg. And so then my punter or kicker does not need to have any kind of skill than having a massive leg and saying, kick this thing.
No, because you're still, you would like to get it close to that end zone. But you also know that if it goes deep and the other team doesn't return it, you get a point. But you're still trying to pin them deep. Whereas in the NFL, I'm trying to pin you deep, but when they fail, in your eyes is that they fail, put it in the end zone. The other team also then just gets to get the ball straight up. They don't have to worry about anything. They're just awarded. There's the participation. It's the return team. There's the participation. The return team just gets field position with zero consequences. The return team just gets the ball at a great field position. They don't even catch the ball in the end zone. They just let it bounce usually or whatever.
Well, I like when they start walking and it's over their head. And it's like, because they're getting ready.
But now in the CFL, they're going, if you want to give up that ball, if you don't want to return it, two things could happen. One, the punter could run and grab that football, which the NFL doesn't do.
I'm going to call Matty Grills right now, and I'm going to get him to write another article.
They could run.
Just to get you all spiced up.
Punters don't do this enough. Punters can go run and grab that football, and it's their ball.
I like that rule, too, by the way.
But two, return it. And if you choose not to return it, you're saying, I want the field position, but we're giving you a point. That is the choice that other team is making. As opposed to NFL, the participation trophy comes.
The ball
just get the ball placed. There's no consequences.
Get out of here.
Zero consequences. Participation trophy.
They changed the kickoff rule so that there could be more returns. So there's no more participation trophies. And if you miss on a kickoff in the NFL, they actually flag you and you give up another additional 15 yards.
That's because it's kickoff rules.
So you have... That's my point.
Actually, the CFL was thinking of doing, and people in the CFL fans do not want it.
Okay, so
they think there's going to be less return. But I would go back to the kick return.
You're penalizing the kicker saying, if you can't put this thing in between the lines, well, you clearly suck at your job. Here's a 15-yard penalty.
Well, the CFL does that with punters.
Yeah.
If you
Okay,
if
but
it's-
that's just
if
punters.
If it goes, well, and same with kickers. If you put it out of
Beattie
bounds,
did that.
He got
Remember
it out of
against
bounds.
Ottawa?
He got it out of bounds. It was a penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got
but
65
coffin
yards.
corner. Show me the coffin corner.
And if it doesn't go far enough, it is a penalty. And if it goes into the end zone, the other team gets their participation
This is
trophy in the
Oh
end
my
zone.
God.
Where they get
Here.
it there. Whereas in the CFL, there is no participation trophy. In the end, the team gets a point, but the other team gets field position.
Wow.
Woof.
It's a give and take.
Woof.
Wow.
Give and take.
That's all I got to say.
That's dog's breath.
Yeah.
Brock says, just tuning in, heard something about the Rouge. In my opinion, the Rouge is fine. But
Thank you.
you don't get the single point if you go through the end zone. If the opponent takes a knee or you tackle them in the end zone, you get the single, but you should not be able to win the game by kicking a ball really hard with zero care for the aim of the kick.
And I've said I could live with if you're going to take it out on if it goes through the end zone on a field goal. I could live with that. But if it lands in the end zone and that they can return it, then it's a Rouge. And that's what Brock is saying. Brock's nailed it.
I get what Brock is saying, and
Brock is 100%. He's 100% accurate.
There's good logic there, but at the end of the day, I still go, I just get rid of that point. Don't give them the point for that.
No, return the ball.
But it's that
Return the ball.
suggestion is much better than what we have right now in Canadian football.
Return the ball. Get that ball and return it.
I think we came up last time I was on the show. If you don't return it, you don't get points, but you go to the 10-yard line.
You brought that up.
He's a smart man.
So that right there alone solves everything you need.
It doesn't.
You're encouraged to return this thing. But if you don't, fine. You get just awful field position. Incentivized. Call it a day. Actually, you know what? Let's make it the 5-yard line, so now you're truly incentivized.
Boom. Risk of a safety. Stack the box.
Boom.
Boom.
We just solved it. Right
No, you
here,
didn't.
Matty.
No, you didn't.
We're
good with it.
Tell
We're
me
good as
why
it
you
is.
don't like that idea.
I'd have to go sit down and think about it because there was a reason I came up with, but I forgot.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
I have thought about it.
You just know that idea was so flawless, you can even come
Yeah.
up with something to rally
Because
against
now
it.
it takes care of everything.
Yep.
You are incentivized to return this thing.
Boom.
Because if you don't, you're going to get crap field position. You can't now walk off.
You got
From Mr. Nielsen is the named in the nasty chat.
it's HR
It is
Daddy.
HR Daddy.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Maddie, you're 100% right.
Oh, HR Daddy.
Get out of here.
Boom!
No.
Thank you, HR Daddy.
That stings,
Keith,
HR Daddy.
Thank
That
you.
does sting a
Appreciate
little
it.
bit.
That's the only word that needs to that matters now. That's the only one right there. Boom.
I disagree with that.
It's how it needs to be, and that's how it should be,
it is what
and
it
that's
is,
why the
man.
Canadian
It's
Football League is great and is the best football league.
It is
a fantastic league.
Yes.
Or not according to Matthew Grills,
Well, it's good that he watched
Yeah.
a game for the first time in forever.
Yeah.
and he's on your side, so take him.
Well, I'm not.
Take him.
He wants to get rid of like all
Doesn't
the
matter.
Canadian
He's
rules.
on your
I'm
side.
not on that side.
He's fully on your side.
Let's get rid of
You're claiming him.
I'm not claiming him.
Your side is claiming him. He's not on my
He
side.
can linger in the background.
No, he's on Bell's. He's passing along his info. Bell's
I'm,
like the
I'm
article.
100% going to be emailing him and saying, hey, I got a guy that you should battle.
Rap battle.
He's in,
I want the first ever EST Hangout 1v1.
1v1 showdown.
he's not even worth my time.
Oh, debatable.
Matthew Grills isn't even
Debatable.
worth my time.
Debatable.
Really?
Yeah.
After that article?
Dude, what I've seen here in the last 20 to 30 minutes,
It's not worth my time.
Gotten saucy this show.
Yeah, but he's not worth my time.
he is still living rent-free in your head right now.
By the way,
I'll
Jocelyn,
forget about him very quickly.
at 10:25 in the morning, Jocelyn has picked up her long drink. She's
Nice.
confirmed. Yeah.
They're very good.
That's the influence that Maddie drinking one, 0 sugar, by the way.
Yeah, there's the zero sugar, and that's
Yeah.
5% alcohol.
Yeah.
The one above it is gluten-free only, but it's 5.5% alcohol too.
Oh, a little extra kick.
Yeah, I had that one yesterday. They taste the exact same.
Which one's better? Oh, they're exactly.
They taste the
Yeah.
exact same to me.
Perfect.
I like it.
I look
They
forward
are
to
very
digging
nice,
into that.
and they're very
end of
delicious.
End of summer beverage of choice, the long drink.
The official drink of the EST Hangout. I need to get to Road Warriors, which is brought to you by AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers, custom manufacturing heavy haul trailers for mining, oil and gas, equipment, highway transportation, trusted by the leaders in the heavy transport industry. Get on the road with peace of mind for your large loads, AccuSteel.ca. Today's still one of those quieter days in sports, as it's baseball. You got the Blue Jays. Oh, I don't know if anyone see what happened to the Blue Jays yesterday. They're ending a 2-game series against the Phillies.
They got off to a hot start, didn't they?
Oh, did they ever? The Toronto Blue Jays had a 6-run first inning. It was 6-1 after one.
Yeah. I was like,
The
this
Jays
game's
lost
over.
the game 10-9.
Ah, makes
Oh
sense.
boy.
They gave up 3 runs in the 7th and 3 runs in the 9th.
They are a bad baseball team.
I think Jake Bullenmoss from Cool Bet, I think he tweeted yesterday that he left after 7. It was the perfect time because the Jays are in the lead. He was feeling good and he didn't have the heartbreak of the Jays blowing it. A 6-run first inning. I think they set a record or something of hits in a single inning in the first inning or something like
Right.
that. And they still lose 10-9.
Okay, now obviously it's been a bad season. They got out of the gate. It was just bad all around, right? And
Yes.
there's a trade wind swirling about Bo Bichette, Vladdy Guerrero Jr., and then obviously they offloaded a bunch of players because the team was going nowhere. Like, where do they go now? They did the renovations to Rogers Center. Looks great. They pumped a bunch of money into the organization. They obviously spend, but like, is it Atkins and Shapiro? Is it just switching the manager again? What happens in the offseason? Like, where are they going? Because it feels like this thing has gone off the rails.
It's a really good question. I think a lot of people would like Rush Shapiro or Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins to go.
Right.
But it's been long enough now. It's time to go.
Just like you mentioned, it's too long.
We're almost at 10 years with these two, right?
Which is ridiculous to think.
Right.
Mark Shapiro, I want to say. I feel like
You're probably
at least
closer to 7, I'd say.
Because they took over for Anthopoulos when he walked away. And that Anthopoulos had the run in
2015.
2015, yeah.
Yep.
August 31st, 2015, they announced he'd become the new president, chief operating officer at the end of that season.
Yeah.
So it began October of 2015 that year. So in October of on Halloween this year, it will be 9 years
Yeah.
of him there.
Two,
I think he
three
gets
playoff
one thing he hasn't done that maybe he gets is to fire a GM. Where
Okay.
maybe he can fire Ross Atkins and save his job. Mm-hmm. He's done a lot because he's involved with the business a lot too. So he's done a lot when it comes to
the building.
Rogers Center,
Yeah.
the renovations, doing a lot of things. They have. There's a lot of interest. I think they've made quite a bit of money. So maybe he gets the
don't you
stay of
think that-
execution. But
Firing that GM should have happened a while ago.
yeah, probably.
There were calls for it, weren't like fans? were
But
getting
at the
pissed.
same time, they were pretty good last year.
Yeah.
People are expecting good things.
They
like,
were pretty good last year, but they still underachieved.
They should have fired John Schneider last year. Mm-hmm. It was clear that there was a disconnect between GM and coach or manager. So there needed to be some sort of change there. But now I feel like they had their good moments of the last few years. I think you could get away with going, we're going to get rid of the GM and we're going to bring someone new in to turn this around quickly.
But you were always in that. So it's the minute you started signing like Springer and all these massive signings, you're creating your window. That window, like they've clearly underachieved based on who they've had in the lineup the last few years. So at what point do you say, okay, well, we're tired of the underachieving. It's time to get moving. Because to me, like, you're in the same cycle year after year. Yeah, we've got a decent team on paper, but at the end of the day, we just don't live up to what we're supposed to, our expectations.
Like last year, they did, right? Like it was a step in the right direction. And then what happened? The pitching
It was, but it was still an underachieving season based on what they thought they had.
right. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like they've basically gone sideways, or they're going in circles here.
I'm sure, trade boat, he wants out, says Chadwick Berry, signed Vladdy long term. He is all Canadian. We've got, since the Jays let Alex Anthopoulos go, all he did was lead the Braves to a World Series. At the very least, Atkin has to go. And Anthopoulos was part of the Dodgers before he went to the Braves too.
Yeah, like been instrumental in a few things.
There's going to have to be some sort of changes, but it's also like, what's the commitment from ownership here? They have one of the highest payrolls in baseball, which is one from ownership. They've done a great job of actually, I guess, giving some money. I would think. I'm not a Jays fan, so I don't follow them as closely. Some Jays fans could correct me where I'm wrong with that. But at the same time, do they care that the results aren't there? Or are they going, we're getting money, people are happy, people still watch? Do they have enough of that they're just like, whatever, we don't care that much?
Well, I think they're limiting the amount of money they could possibly make if they had a good team.
That's true. They make a lot when they're in the playoffs.
100% they do. So if you had a team that was actually, just achieving what they were supposed to, not even overachieving, just get to that line, well, you're probably making a little bit more money than you would right now.
There's going to be some sort of change in Toronto.
There has to be.
Although we said that about the Toronto Maple Leafs of having to change their core, and it's the same core going into this season. Maybe sometimes in Toronto they don't do it. NFL starts tomorrow as well. My Ravens taking on the Chiefs.
0-1?
Yes, I believe so. Who do the Dolphins got?
Jacksonville.
1-0? It's home. Battle of Florida.
1-0.
It's going to be a big one. And then the Cards got the Bills. Ooh.
0-1.
Yeah, they're going to be 0-1. I have that, Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm excited about. There's some things like off the field stuff. Like, isn't there I don't know if it's the PA or there's like a lawsuit against him, and now they've included his dad in it. And then I don't know. I know he's going to be a great receiver and already is. Now in NCAA obviously, and Kyler is going to probably have someone to throw to for a long time, but I have concerns. The Cardinals have good players, but they don't have a good team.
Well, they came on strong last year, didn't they?
Kind of.
I feel like
when Kyler came back from his injury, they started to pick it up.
Yeah, they got Trey McBride there.
Yeah.
Tight end.
2020.
He was really good down the stretch.
Yes.
Didn't start the first 7 games, finished off the rest of the season. He was taking up a lot, a massive share of the targets. So obviously I think he finished with almost 800 yards.
He was good.
He was really good.
Really
so
good.
you have him, you get, Marvin Harrison Jr. Is James Conner back there?
I think he's still back there, yeah.
You have decent pieces, and then Kyler, if he decides to just put down the controller, he should usually be fine.
Well, that's the problem.
Maybe study a little bit, but
they went 3-5 in their last 8 games. Prior to that, they were 1-8. It was a nice little turnaround to that season. They lost in the last game of the season by 1 point to Seattle.
I think they'll be okay. The Cards will be okay.
I think
this
they
year.
could be. They could have that little bit of a step forward. I do.
Yeah,
I'm a big Marvin Harrison.
They were awful.
fan.
For the first 7-8 weeks of the season last year, I knew I'd only watch the first half, and the game would be over.
Actually, they got Michael Wilson, who I had him on fantasy last year. He was a good number 3 receiver out there, and he started really picking up late. And I think he's poised for a little bit of a jump up this year. I want to see if I can find his game logs from last year, because it was him and Marvin Harrison. I think that's a nice little dual receiving core that they have out there. So I'll be intrigued by this NFL season. I don't know.
It's a time of transition in the NFL.
With that, it's so the Chiefs are going to win again?
Maybe.
They're just going to be there and win again? I remember last year, the 49ers are a good team.
Yeah.
And I'd be watching them closely. But with the Chiefs, I remember last year, there was a lot of people concerned about them. And throughout the regular season, I was just they're the Chiefs. They'll still be there. They'll still find a way to be there. They'll get it done. I'm not going to bet against the Chiefs until they lose. And who's going to be that team? The Bills lose Stephon Diggs. They lost a few players. How good are they going to fully be this year? They should still be really good.
Yep.
But same questions with the Ravens. Ravens lost some players in the offensive line. Are they going to be able to get there? Are the Dolphins going to be able to just close that gap? Because you feel the Dolphins tailed off at the end of last season.
Yeah,
if I remember.
They had a bunch of injuries that happened. There's I think 6 starters out in 3 weeks, and bye-bye.
So can they get back up there? Are the Texans going to be a team that takes that jump? Is Joe Burrow being healthy going to allow the Bengals to take that jump? And then the NFC, who's good in the NFC? You got the 49ers.
Yeah. 49ers.
The Eagles, you would have to think.
Eagles will be good. I don't know if they'll be quite as good as they have been in the past, but it'll be interesting.
Mike, the Michigan fan, says Harrison Jr. is as soft as they come. He did nothing against top corners in NCAA. Don't expect him to catch a ball crossing the middle. And I just said, yikes. That's gonna.
Tell me how you really feel. Ooh, boy.
I hope Mike, the Michigan fan, is wrong. But
I'm also intrigued to see what the Chicago Bears are going to be.
right?
They brought in Caleb Williams, who I'm not sold on. But by accounts, he actually looked pretty good through training camp. They also gave him a receiving core, which they almost never really did with Justin Fields. Are they going to take that step forward? Is Caleb Williams going to be that guy that could lead
According
a
to
CFL?
Caleb Williams, he is.
Oh, he's absolutely the guy.
Yeah. And don't leave any garbage lying around the locker room.
With Caleb Williams? Uh-huh. Does he get mad?
Yeah.
Really?
I actually admire that about him. Like, pick up, help out the cleaning staff. Absolutely. But, I'm curious now. Obviously, you create this, I don't know if narrative is the right term here, but, there's a discussion around you and all the things, him adjusting to being a pro and rookie telling the vets what to do in the locker room, him calling himself a leader.
He's one of 8 captains for the Bears this year.
And that's impressive considering he's just coming
Why is there
in.
8 captains?
That's crazy, too. Although there's 6 men on a roster now.
Yeah, but usually it's only 3 captains that
Yeah.
go to the... I don't know. I don't think you need 8.
And you make your rookie QB one of them.
That's where it takes away a little bit for me.
Yeah.
Well, he better be one if there's going to be 8 of them.
Well, make him wait a year.
He could be 7 or 8 in terms of the order. So he gets the C or whatever at times on his chest. I don't
The
know.
stars filled in. I like how they do that.
It is nice.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
Except when there's 8 of them per team. I don't know if 8 are. I don't know if they're all going to get the C on their jerseys or what. If it's like the NHL, you only can have so many, and they rotate the A's per game. Maybe they rotate the C's per game for some other.
It could
people.
be. I like when you win Man of the Year in the NFL, you get the Walter Payton patch.
Yeah.
I think that's a really nice touch.
Yeah.
I like that award when it happens at Super Bowl because they bring the 30 nominees out because the other 2 are playing, and they have them out there before the game, and they announce who the winner was and stuff. And it's just because that's a cool award.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
The NHL should do that with the.
King Clancy? I think that's
I
what
was gonna say Bill Masterton.
Masterton's perseverance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it
That'd be
is
a cool
maybe
touch.
even the King Clancy, where before game 2 of the Stanley Cup final or something, they have the 30 guys. And again, 2 are about to play a game, so they can't be there. And you make it during the game. Because they have the awards night, and they do
Yeah.
everything in the awards
Yeah,
night,
yeah.
but also there's not a lot of people I'm not going to watch an NFL awards night. I don't watch the NHL awards night.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
There are no Esties.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
a very good point.
Yeah.
not all the great.
I get it.
There's only so many top award shows that are up there.
Yeah.
Gutsiest
And those aren't
performer.
there.
The NHL one is not even.
It's not going to be there.
It's not even the same category.
Oh, I think the stars on the patches are ridiculous. I think they should get rid of it. Eliminate the stars from the captain patches in the NFL. That's a text that just came
In terms of patches, is it the Giants? What's the logo that the Giants have on there?
Like on their
There's
shoulders.
another patch on their shoulder, on their right shoulder.
It is their 100th year.
Every time I
it new?
see it, no, it's been on there for a long time, but I feel like when I look at it, it looks like Darth Vader, but I'm like, I don't think it's actually Darth Vader.
Well, don't the Patriots wear a patch that has that thing from their stadium on it?
I don't know. There's one patch that I can't wrap my head around, and I'm trying to figure out what it is.
There's a few
And I can't-
oddities when it
and
comes to
I don't know if
uniforms.
it's the Giants or if it's the Patriots, because now that you bring them up, they have one too.
Yeah.
But
Let's see.
Yeah, I kind of picture what you're seeing. I just can't find
it's
which
probably
jersey.
like 3
The Giants?
inches.
Don't have one.
No,
not the
somebody's-
Giants. Maybe it is the
on their
Patriots.
blue uniforms. Check their blue uniforms.
I've seen the
You know what I'm talking about,
Foxborough
right?
one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I have also seen once you said the Darth Vader or whatever it was.
I'm pretty sure it's on the Giants.
Somebody will know this in that
Yeah,
text. It's
somebody-
780-218-9999. Maybe Matthew Grills knows. He's a big NFL guy.
Hey, now you leave our boy alone.
Yeah, leave Matthew
Yeah,
alone.
see, you guys are claiming him.
You leave Matthew alone.
You
He
guys
didn't
agree
do-
with
he didn't do
everything he's
anything to
saying.
you.
Yeah, he wrote the worst article ever. Actually, no, who did something to me was you.
Yeah,
Because you sent me the
100%.
terrible article.
I know.
And you couldn't just tell me what he said. You had to make me
I
read
had
it.
to make you
and it was
read
the
it.
worst. I can't find it at all.
No.
But I know exactly which one you're talking about.
I'm not seeing it here.
Darth Vader patch NFL jersey.
Yeah.
Well, like
but I don't think it's actually Darth Vader.
No, it's not. That'd They'd be kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh,
See it?
that's the one you're talking about on Eli Manning?
Yes.
Oh,
So it is
that's the
starting-
man of the year.
Is that
So-
is that man of the
That's
year?
Walter Payton.
The thing is, that's not the subject line goes, that's not a Darth Vader
I
patch
know
on
it's
Eli
not,
Manning's
but-
uniform.
I knew it wasn't
that's
Darth-
Walter Payton.
That's the one. Okay.
That's the
Yeah,
Walter
yeah,
Payton
yeah.
Man of the Year.
Because I've been just seeing it a lot lately. For whatever reason, I see the Giants play and I see this thing all the time. And I'm like, man, it looks like Darth Vader, but it's not Darth Vader.
Eli had
what
it.
was it?
Yeah,
Yes,
and that
Eli
was written
had
in
it for a long time.
2018.
Yes.
Larry Fitzgerald
Okay.
had it.
Thank you for
Drew
clearing
Brees
that
had
up.
it.
Drew
That's
Brees
what I'm
had
thinking of
it.
having
Yeah.
it.
Thank you for clearing that up
Yeah,
because
that's
I was
Walter
like,
Payton.
what is that?
Well, Jason Owens from Yahoo Sports as a staff writer has your back. Because, again, the headline was, no, that's not a Darth Vader
It's
patch on
not.
Eli
Like-
Manning's uniform. That's the whole headline.
Like, what is this thing? But yeah,
Sweetness.
it is sweetness.
But yeah, the Pats did do like a Foxborough one or
Yeah,
something.
and I always
They must have
found
honored
that
like
odd.
10 years of something, or like,
Something
or
like
not
that.
10 years, or whatever the anniversary was of it or something.
Yeah. Did you see speaking of the Giants, they did a 100th anniversary uniform. People have compared it to the Montreal Canadiens a little bit, but they have like the tan pants and a weirder design on the helmet. I don't mind it, especially if it's a 1 year thing. Like the Boston Bruins are going back to their, there it is.
The
Yeah.
Canadians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Boston Bruins wore special uniforms last year for their 100th year.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the Habs. Minus the Habs have blue pants. And so,
They have like Wolverine's helmets.
yeah. So the Bruins swapped out yellow for sparkly gold, like on
Yep.
the Golden Knights jerseys. And then they like mashed a bunch of their uniforms from the past together. And they just wore these 3 different jerseys for last year for their 100th. I thought that was a great way to do it.
Yeah.
And then this year they're just going back to their standard uniforms that they'd been using prior to their 100th celebration. I like that. I thought that was great.
Yep.
You were with the Habs during their 100th.
We had the
year.
jailbreaks.
Yeah, the barber pole jailbreak. I like how you call it.
It doesn't.
But you said they wouldn't let you keep that one.
yeah, didn't get to keep that. That was the one that I wanted badly.
That would be cool.
It would have been unreal.
Because they wore, I think,
There were like 3 or 4 different jerseys that year.
Yeah.
I missed most of them, but we did get to wear the jailbreaks.
That's cool.
I was like, man, those would be sick.
Those were nice. Did you have the brown gloves and
Brown
pants?
gloves and pants.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But I mean, like, there's some teams obviously where it's just their jerseys are so iconic. Do you really want to change them? Like, do you remember when
Blackhawks,
they
no.
did this one?
Yeah, they were saying that was like exposed, but you know what
Yeah,
it
the
looked
baby
like to
blue.
me? The
I always
Nordiques.
like those.
It kind of does look Nordiques. Like
Yeah.
when I think about the Habs, it's got to be red, blue, and white. Mm-hmm. And they're good looking jerseys.
They have, their uniforms are so. I like those. When they
the
reversed
blues? Yeah.
I thought those were pretty nice. And they only wore them like the reverse retro program. They did it twice, obviously. I actually didn't mind. I thought it was a neat idea. Wish the Oilers kept the first one, or they wore it more. The first
yeah,
one
but
that they
the
did.
guys hated it. Right?
They didn't
Isn't
like the
that-
orange pants.
I thought they looked good.
Same. Speaking of that, by the way, in the orange and too much orange, the Anaheim Ducks with their new uniforms, they had on their gloves. I saw this week. They were supposed to have like orange fingers on the gloves. They've gotten rid of that apparently. So like, I'm sure there's like feedback. The fingers thing, and like I don't understand.
But their pants are orange as well, right?
And their helmet's orange.
Yeah, that's too much orange.
That's a lot of orange.
Got to
But
see it on the ice. With
the
hockey, I really have to see something on the
like
ice.
the
'cause
Sharks
It could change.
The Sharks at home are all teal. All teal. Pants, helmet, gloves, all teal. Is it too much? I thought so at first. Then I watched them and I was like, that actually looks pretty good. And I know it's the Sharks.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Color Rush uniforms when they did in the
Very
NFL.
much so. I didn't mind Color Rush, although when they did the one where it was all red versus all green, for those
Yes,
that
that
were
was tough. That was
colorblind, it
tough.
was like, whoopsies.
Yeah. That one was a pretty tough game to watch, but I didn't
Are you
mind.
colorblind?
Not quite, but kind of.
What?
Just for certain colors. Like, so that game was like, oh,
That's why, because he was saying it was tough to watch.
I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
holy man, like that's
Learning
wild.
more about him.
But outside of that, I'm pretty good. 2020 vision, eagle vision.
I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Are you sure you're okay?
I just started laughing while I was drinking coffee. I'm all right.
This whole hangout started with you questioning whether he was okay or not.
Yeah,
So
and here we're
I
back
have
to
a
it.
goatee
Hey?
now, so whatever. Temporarily.
that's going to last till the Estes.
That's wild.
I'm okay. Wow.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, okay, so going back to the orange jerseys and combo with the, listen to that laugh. It's amazing.
Gage, you're just laughing at I'm very intrigued what it's for, because that's a hard laugh.
Yeah. Like orange is one of those colors where you might have to break it up just a tad. Here. So if you had the orange pants, but you had maybe like black piping down the sides,
here, I'll bring them up for you.
Might make it a little bit easier to, I don't know.
What we need to do is get, when Jasmine's on the hangout tomorrow, get her thoughts on that.
She's got the style.
She's, to a degree, came after Hernan and his jeans yesterday.
Oh, really?
Okay.
See, the white jersey looks fun.
That looks great, yeah.
I need to see them on the ice. It goes back, like the Oilers Heritage Classic jersey last year.
Was great.
Hey, look, but immediately people saw it and they saw the pants, like, this isn't a good look. I'm like, what? You got to see it in the setting, though. The hockey's that one sport where I think it really changes with being on the ice versus being off the ice.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want orange fingers on the gloves. I wonder if that's a supply thing. Maybe the suppliers, like, we can't get this done for you.
Gloves eventually, it happened.
You can customize those things so easily.
And like, so the Oilers have, and the Islanders actually, very similar colors and schemes and stuff like that. But the Oilers in the 80s had orange fingers and orange cuff. Always. And then in the 90s, they kind of went away from that. They also got rid of the stripe down the pants before they switched to the copper and blue uniforms. And then they've brought it back. And then for a little while, like, too, when they got rid of the stripe down the pants, like, some guys had all, like, I think Doug Waite and Bill Guerin had all blue gloves. There was no orange on it. I remember seeing, I think Kelly Buchberger, same thing. Like, there was no orange on the gloves. Like, the gloves are very much a part of the uniform, so there is thought that goes into it now. So the fingers thing is a detail that someone said, get rid of those orange fingers. And the other thing that I've learned has become part of it, chin strap. Black or white. It's weird.
Like the actual chin strap?
Yeah.
They can't customize it?
You can do black or white.
Oh.
But like,
yeah, and the ear loops too.
Yeah, and
right.
The ear loops.
So Pittsburgh is, I think, the only team. Pittsburgh and the Oilers.
Carolina did black.
Yeah, and they have the white ear loops.
Yeah,
a lot of teams have black.
Yeah, and it's deliberate. Yeah, it's just there's little details, and like you'll see too on visors, they'll, like the CCM logo, they'll put it in the team's colors now, and the equipment guys have those little decals or decals that they put on the visors and the helmet to cover it and make it the team's colors. Anyway, it's just Jersey geek in me coming out.
I like it. Did
Details.
you? Well, we were talking about the Owls yesterday when they took on the Elks. That was a jersey they should stick with.
Yes.
The Elks going all whites on Labor Day on Monday was really nice.
I loved it. Mm-hmm. They looked really clean, really sharp.
Can't do that again for the rest of the season.
Obviously. Can't wear
right after Labor Day.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Elks wearing their third jerseys on Saturday.
Those are good jerseys.
Yeah.
They're good jerseys, and tickets should be selling pretty well. Actually, we just got an email from the Elks. They're partnering with the Spirit of Edmonton to sell tickets, I think, for the Spirit of Edmonton breakfast at the Grey Cup in 2024. Headline says Elks partnered to help bring the Spirit of Edmonton to 2024 Grey Cup. So tickets go on sale for that September 5th at noon. So tomorrow at noon.
Nice.
What was I going to go do before I said that? Oh, Ticketmaster. I was going to go look at the ticket sales. I have sometimes short memory loss. Matthew Grills is still in my head.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
West side was selling really well. It's that east side, and with the forecast remaining as it is right now, it should be a beautiful night. So if you want to go to Commonwealth, like, this is going to be the game to do. Winning 4 or 5, getting a chance to sweep the series for first time, I don't know, like 20 years. I think 2002 was the last time. East is it's there. So. Saturday's going to be a night down at Commonwealth. And if you can't get to Commonwealth, come to Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where every day is game day, where myself and Jay Milne will be for the Green and Gold kickoff and post-game shows, as we'll get going at 4 o'clock. With the win, the Elks moved to 4th in the West. I don't know the last time they weren't sitting last in the West Division outside of like the first weekend.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Like where you start that way. I think I was trying to look it up. I think it might be 2021.
Okay, so now where where does the conversation go based on this roster with Chris Jones? Was it he can construct a roster, he's a bad coach?
That's it. the coach got in
Because
the way.
we probably would have flipped that previous, saying he's actually a pretty good coach, not a guy that could build a roster.
Yeah.
But maybe it's actually truly he can build a roster, you just can't coach.
But Belsey, like all season long, going into the year, even when all these signings were happening with the Elks, you're like, that guy's pretty good. That guy's pretty good. Like they brought in a lot of talented players on both sides of the ball. I'm with Matty where the offensive line maybe, you could have brought in a
Yep.
big boy there, but like they had the talent and A, they were losing close games, and B, there were some decisions that you're like, why did they do that? And then now Jarius Jackson, Jason Shivers, and the staff, and then like for G-Roy, like what has G-Roy had to? He's brought in a couple of guys, obviously, but
Not a lot.
just like go and do your job.
He
We
brought
know you
Justin
guys
Rankin back
Yeah,
in.
and Justin Rankin's been great. Now they have 3 threats running the ball. So, and then Trey Ford when he's in there, but yeah,
MBT 300 plus.
he went 486 the other night.
It's one where before the roster, and I still have issues with the roster construction a little bit where it could have been better. But I said it was the GM that failed the head coach. Now it's, no, the GM gave the coach the players. The coach just was too arrogant in his way. He didn't run the football. Probably could have used Trey Ford earlier. And maybe we're talking about Chris Jones having led this team to the turnaround. But he got in his own way, and it's the head coach that cost himself the job.
Yep.
But I think some credit has to be given to the GM a little bit more now. They're going, well, maybe actually built
It was a decent
team.
Yeah.
You ended up actually doing it.
Yeah.
But we got to see how
Talent's
the
there.
rest of the season plays out.
Yeah.
I'm still not sold on MBT. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not confident when MBT goes out there. I'm not confident that he, like last week, he did great. I think that that's far and few between of what you get with MBT. He's always been able to have those few games, but he also does play very poor. And I think because now he got that win, he's locked in as the starting quarterback for the rest of the season.
Yeah. If you look at it glass half full with McLeod Bethel Thompson, you're probably going, maybe now he's found his game a bit. Obviously, the numbers were huge. A lot of it came off that one play. He still would have been over 400 yards passing without that huge catch by Geno Lewis, and then got picked up by Tevin Jones after the fumble, taken down to the 1. But yeah, I mean, if you want to look at it from a positive, like pro MBT stance, you go, well, maybe he's found his game. I mean, a week prior against Montreal in Montreal, granted, one of the best teams, the best team in the league, pardon me, they didn't convert. He had the ball in the last 2 minutes twice, and they couldn't get a touchdown. And they were knocking on the door. That 3rd and 10, and he makes a 6-yard pass. Receiver, Matty's rolling.
That doesn't change.
That happened.
That's going to happen again at some other point this
but he
season.
came back strong. So.
And if you go to his time in Toronto, he was heckle and jawed. He would have good games here and there, but then would play poor the rest of the time. And my fear though is now that Trey Ford won't go in, and they'll lose a couple of games possibly because they're not going to run the table, and they're going to stick with MBT and not go to Trey Ford. When I think if this team wants to be a true Grey Cup threat and actually get in the playoffs and do damage, it's going to have to be Trey Ford. It's not going to be with MBT. But I don't know if the coaching staff will still fully go there. So I'll be a little skeptical on that. Coming up next here on Edmonton Sports Talk, it is the Lock Shop, Dusty and Huss. At noon, it's Oil Stream. At 1 o'clock, it's EST Afternoons with Hearn and Engage. And then 3 o'clock, it's the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. That will wrap up the EST Hangout for this Wednesday. Thanks to everyone for tuning in on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, Edmonton Sports Talk. I'm gonna go email Matthew right away. Grills, and I'm gonna get in touch with him.
Yes, you are.
I'm gonna grills. On behalf of Tommy, Belsey, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the Hangout. Coming up next, like I said, it is the Lock Shop in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with here. Joining us today,